feel it's necessary to yak about bullshit in order to be comfortable?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's I, your reluctant gringo, back again from south of the border. All right, today we've got a lot going on. It's been a hell of a news cycle, but the big story of the day, well, I mean, depending on which side you're on, you're either no kings or the military parade. And we're going to watch the military parade. The White House is going to have their feet up. So let me get that rolling for everybody. Soon it'll be up. It still says will begin shortly. And we're going to watch, and then the president will give some remarks afterwards, see what he has to say. We'll see if anything happens. We'll see if anything breaks out from the chaos of whatever's going on. And and then we got a bunch of other stories to follow up on. It says it's live now, but not yet. It says we will begin shortly. So we are using the White House's own website because there's no copyright on that stuff, according to the law. There's no copyright on any of that. So I'm kind of interested to see. Oh, wow, it's beginning. And let's see. That's some ominous music. Hopefully it's not too loud. That's some ominous music. I don't know how I feel about that music. I feel like I'm in a space battle. By the way, Washington, D.C., yes, it's got its problems, but it's one of the most beautiful cities I've ever visited. To go there, see the monuments and everything. So, very cool. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Tons of people there. More people than I expected. There's a lot of people there. America's 250th anniversary of the Army. Of course, older than the United States itself. Oh, and here comes the marching band. See if we can do this here. It's probably better for everybody. It'd be real interesting to see a bunch of protesters come in and try to move the United States Army. It doesn't look threatening. I don't feel threatened. I don't know. It's a military parade. It's cool. I think everybody loves the military. I think most people love the military. I think it's one of the most popular institutions that are in the United States. More popular than Congress. There's Chinese spies there taking pictures of our military. Just kidding. Sorry. You gotta have some fun with it, right? A lot of people. Now, it might rain. They're starting it early because it might rain. Now, I'm not sure if that's music that they're playing through the website or if that's actually the band playing. If it's the band playing, damn, they're a pretty good band. It's a pretty good symphony. Seal the president, of course. I wonder if they've got to get into the event. I've heard you have to go through magnetometers and, of course, all that stuff. So there's a lot of security around the place. So it'd be kind of interesting to see if they've got a count of how many people. Now, they've had festivals all day. You can go, climb all over the tanks, jump in a helicopter or two, see the fighter, see that type of stuff. And but yeah, I mean, it's a really cool place to visit, Washington, D.C. If you ever go to the mall. I mean, if you're just into museums, you can go there and there's the Smithsonian's, all the different Smithsonian's. And if you're going to try to visit all the Smithsonian's, that's all you'll be doing for the entire week because it takes forever. But all really cool museums. The Supreme Court's there, the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial is awesome. The Jefferson Memorial is really, really cool. you know, you get the veterans that hang out there selling pins and things like that. And there's the Vietnam War Memorial, the World War II Memorial, and they're beginning to do other things. And here we go, fly over. Someone's got a weird operating of the camera there on the helicopter. So yeah, here comes the band. And again, I don't think that's them. I think this is all.
In the fires of revolution, tested on today's front lines of freedom. Before there was a nation, there was the United States Army. From the hallowed ground of Yorktown's
This is
first
true.
camp to the unwavering readiness at Fort Bragg today, and onward to West Point's next generation of leaders. For 250 years, one force has stood ready, unshaken, unmatched, unbreakable. And today, the legacy rolls on. This is the United States Army's 250th anniversary parade.
It's a hell of a recruitment video, though, I'll tell you that. I'm sure this.
Representing our joint forces, please welcome the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff,
Oh.
General Dan Kane.
All right. It's a pretty cool title to have. What's your title? I'm chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff for the U.S. military.
Joining us, the Secretary of the Army. Please welcome the Honorable Daniel P. Driscoll.
Okay, Secretary of the Army. Oh, I bet SecDef is going to be up next, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, there he
the
is.
Honorable Pete Hegseth.
There he is. Went with the camo tie. All right, the camo tie. For a minute, I thought he was going right to the podium. I'm like, it's not your podium. It's not yours yet. You may want it to be someday. That guy looks wicked happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance.
J.D.
accompanied by the Second Lady of the United States, Usha Vance, and their 3 children.
Who are like, we don't want to be here. We'd rather be at home playing Nintendo. They're like, what is this? There's going to be some unintentional entertainment with those kids, I'm telling you right now, as they start just being like, we don't want to be here no more. Start crawling all over some poor colonel in his 70s. All right, that's as high as the volume goes here, folks. So hopefully...
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and First Lady Melania Trump.
Sorry, just getting some feedback there. There he is. There's Donald. So yeah, once again, folks, just got told that the volume's a little low, but this is as high as the computer's all the way up. The website, YouTube, is all the way up. So this is as loud as the White House volume is allowing it. The stream is allowing it. Oh, we got some booms. So I think they're going to do the parade first, and then he's going to talk.
Honor America, would you please rise for the singing of our national anthem?
I would rise, but then you'd just be looking at my crotch, so I probably not what you want, but... Take off the hat. At least be respectful and take off the hat.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Better than you get at the NFL most days.
Before we even had a country, we had an army.
They started as a small,
Got a parade,
unorganized
boys?
group of shop owners and farmers, but they fought
Parade, boys?
We got a parade.
army in the
How you doing,
entire
son?
world to a
Not gonna be a
standstill
camera for
in
this, but-
Concord, Lexington, and Bunker Hill.
Then our Continental Congress chose George Washington as general of our Continental Army.
But it wasn't until 1 year later, on July 4th, 1776, that news arrived of the signing of our Declaration of Independence.
Now we had a new army and a new nation.
With little gunpowder, no shoes.
Oh my God, we're
bloody
live.
Oh, we're not. I couldn't tell if we were
few
muted. 'cause
cannons,
it's been-
Oh, no.
little
This is like-
training, and even less food.
Valley Forge started in December. They went into winter camp in December of 1777. Approximately 2,000 Americans died that winter of disease.
They lived through hell, but they never ever gave up. Not this army, not this first American army.
Finally, Washington and his army arrived here at Yorktown, where they had General Cornwallis and his powerful British army trapped in this city against the sea.
Bro, kick their ass.
Of
That's
the
right.
preparation that Washington has learned
course,
over
when
the
I
course
went
of
to
those 6.5 years
USA,
meets its
Trafalgar Square.
Yorktown, and he employs
Sailing from the Caribbean, the French Navy arrived and took on the British fleet.
Washington decided to make his move.
everyone.
Our
Yeah.
men began digging to
Quite
get
frankly.
closer and closer to the fort, finally getting within rifle and cannon range. Naturally, George Washington chose to set off our first cannon shot.
Hell yeah. It's like, I'm firing first, boys.
6 foot redhead is like 7 feet today.
Then,
You're
on
firing a
the moonless
cannon.
night of
I
October
understand the
4th,
surrender.
The
Yeah,
American
I
and
respect
French
it.
forces
Yeah.
attacked the redoubts. The hand-to-hand combat with bayonets.
Yeah, dude, that was
knives,
brutal.
and
That was
fists
brutal
was
battles.
Bloody, to say the least. But
One
within an
shot
hour,
and it was just
we were
close.
victorious.
And as the sun came up the next day, Cornwallis looked out and realized he was in serious trouble. So he prepared an all-out, desperate counterattack.
It didn't work, and the British
It didn't. That's all he says.
to lose
That's all he's got.
the army and the
Great,
largest and most
great input, Mike. Really appreciate
But
it.
our young
That didn't
army
work.
won the war and our freedom. The
I
freedom
didn't
we
know
hold
that.
so dear. And 250 years later, for what started as a ragtag group of shop owners, has now become the most powerful army in the world.
I mean, you can't argue that. I mean,
the Marines might have some.
the Marines.
But one thing remains
No
the
disrespect to
same.
the Army.
An undying passion, guts, and love for our country remains deep.
Yeah, I had friends that went to West Point
Days.
and
When I
Annapolis,
look
but West
into their
Point, I mean,
faces,
that's
you can see it. That will never change. God bless the United States Army, and God bless the United States of America.
all right. Governor Youngkin from Virginia. All right,
There you go.
ripping it up. I don't. You know, here's the thing though. They're protesting no kings, but the first thing you see is we fought against kings. And so it's like the whole no king thing doesn't make any sense. Calling Trump, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, we have Congress still.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a whole constitution and rules that we have courts always fighting the past few months.
Yeah.
But that shows there's no king in this country.
Yeah.
There are maybe cults of personalities.
Sure, there's cult of personality.
Absolutely.
Dad, I absolutely agree with this. Cult of
But
personality.
there's no king. Also, I saw someone tweet this. It might have been some protesters and organizers saying, "Hey, just saying, only dictators throw parades for themselves on their birthdays." And I thought that was really stupid because it's like it's not a parade for his birthday; it's a parade for the Army's birthday.
250. He just happened to be born on this day.
It's just complete fuck.
Orange man bad. Orange man bad. Anything to say orange man bad. I mean, yeah, I don't agree with everything the guy does, but I mean,
And I don't think you should agree with everything a politician does. When I say are either yourself, your family, or your best friend.
yeah.
And even then, you disagree with your best friend.
Yeah.
At times.
But I mean, you have to appreciate like what the Army's done positively. Yeah, they've done some shitty stuff over the years under other under other presidents and things like that, right? But overall, they've been a really positive force.
They've
Yeah.
done their job. They do a lot of work around the world. They're good people.
Yeah.
And most Army workers, you meet them. Some of them are batshit crazy, human-wise. But they're awesome. They're kind. They don't care about what you believe in necessarily.
I always tell you, man, as soon as a veteran came in to apply for a job, whether it was Target or Apple, wherever else I was working, I was like, cool. You're a veteran. I know that you care. You're going to do the service. You're going to do. It's just, they were just, and they always worked out. They always worked out to be awesome people, awesome employees, men or women.
Yeah, we never. I don't
No, we don't do enough for
God, we
veterans.
don't do enough. I feel terrible.
Ladies and gentlemen, our parade is
That veteran
officially
Not
underway.
only help adjusting to normal life, right?
Up
Outside
first,
of the war zone,
internationally renowned as
especially
one
if
of
they
the
serve
world's finest
active.
professional music
Yeah.
I don't think we do
organizations,
enough.
the United States Army
I don't know
Band,
if it's being
Purchase Zone.
funded or if it's just supporting.
They are the premier music organization of the U.S.
Yeah,
Army,
it used to
our
be.
nation's most senior service, stationed at Joint Base
This
Miles,
should be a good
Hall,
moment.
Virginia. It
So the Marines are really
important
angry about this
role in
whole
events of
celebration.
national and international significance.
Chopping down some
They were
crayons,
founded back in
viola,
1922
oils.
by Army Chief of Staff John J. Pershing.
See, who are these
They're
guys?
Led today by Colonel Bruce R. Pulver and Drum Major Rob Moore. Today,
They don't win the
Zone
patches.
is playing a
That's
melody
what
entitled
you
The
need.
Army Goes
Like, those are like your
Rolling Along.
rings.
This was actually written in 1908 by the then Lieutenant Edmund Lewis.
You know how like you've got like the 45th battalion, they used to have like an arrowhead.
It was originally written
know what I mean?
to the 5th
Yeah.
Artillery Regimental song titled The Caissons Go
All right, hopefully our voice is still going because I just moved the microphone a little bit.
I'll make sure.
Is the official song
Right.
of the U.S.
That's why you got
Army,
me here.
and then retitled The Army Goes Rolling Along. Pershing Zone carries on its century-old legacy, playing a march that brings pride to every soldier. The Army Song.
The last thing I was
The 3rd
watching.
Infantry Regiment
The
is the
World War
oldest
II
active duty unit
doc.
in the U.S. Army. Established back in 1784, the unit was dubbed the Old Guard by Major General Winfield Scott during a victory parade in Mexico City after the Mexican War. It is the U.S. Army's official ceremony
In Mexico City.
presidential escort, conducted year-round.
Don't get me in trouble down here, boys.
Ensure the highest standards and
No,
utmost
don't get me in trouble.
discipline of its
I
soldiers.
blended.
Routinely
You blended.
represents the
You
U.S.
blended.
Army
I
and
blended
our nation
perfect.
in
You-
official ceremonies, major sports
I'm shockingly white.
You are shockingly.
The Old Guard
The definition
also
of what
maintains
American is.
24-hour vigil of the tomb of the unknown soldier. while also conducting funeral services honoring our fallen heroes in Arlington National
Just want to make sure I'm
Cemetery.
not too far from the
The
mic.
regiment's 50 campaign streamer stand is
You probably are, but it's
A
okay.
little, yeah, a little.
faithful service to our
Closer.
nation.
Just doing
Ladies
some
and gentlemen,
tests
the
here.
3rd Infantry
But this
Regiment,
looks swell.
the Old Guard.
Notice the amount of immigrants that are probably right there in the crowd. Just, you know,
Hey,
just saying.
It's George.
All right, here we go, baby.
And Concord sparked
Are you gonna have Benedict Arnold?
I don't know, but we're gonna have the Revolutionary War right now. Here we go. Let's fight it again.
turned the tide at Trenton and Saratoga. Survived.
I won't pay for no damn TV license. You know what a TV license is?
And giving
The
birth
British
to
thing.
the United States of
You have
America.
to pay a license to have like a TV.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. See, this is why we fought for freedom.
Before radios and field phones, sound was the signal. In the Continental Army, fifes and drums carried commands across the chaos of battle, telling soldiers
Why are we wearing red,
when to
boys?
retreat,
It's
even
pretty
when to
British looking.
rest. That legacy
Lobster
actually
backs?
lives on
Lobster
today
backs,
with the US
baby.
Army Fife and Drum Corps, part of the 3rd Infantry Regiment known as the Old Guard. Founded back in 1960, they're the only unit of their kind in the armed forces.
Okay, my audio is fine. I will say
In
this.
uniforms patterned after those worn by
I do understand why
General
they had to do red
Washington's
coats at first because it's what
playing
we
period
had lying
instruments with
around.
patriotic
Yeah.
precision.
But then we went to the
did
blue.
blue with the red touch.
Sharing the sound
Right.
and spirit of the revolution through more than 500 performances each year, both at
Look,
home and around the world.
he's saluting the president, hat off.
Fife and Drum Corps, everybody.
I mean, it's an interesting lineage. You think, like, if you're President Trump, you're standing there going, and you can take a set and go, oh, yeah,
That's the guy who started it.
this guy, yeah, I'm a president. There's not many of us.
50 years.
We got a little club
Your
and
Yeah.
everything.
United States Army parachute team, the
Ooh.
Golden Knights.
The Golden Knights, oh, they got a parachute in? It's really overcast.
Hey, they've been through worse, historically.
Gliders to maintain their formation. They open their main canopy
Are they gonna-
simultaneously and
this will be cool.
negotiate the softest possible landing. I'll tell you, they can't hear you, but they sure can see you. You can give them a great big wave, ladies and gentlemen. The Golden Knights, the finest parachuting team in the world.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Wait, the parachutes are American flags. You can kind of make it out, I think.
Yeah. Are they?
Oh, that they dropped somebody.
I'm like, oh no, what did they drop? They got smoke trails and stuff. This guy hasn't pulled his chute yet. Pull your chute, baby. Pull your chute. No.
guy pulled early to smoke.
The golden parachutes.
Otherwise, the thing handed to CEOs during the 08 crisis.
I'm about to say. I don't know if you want to call yourself the golden parachute anymore.
Can I have one?
How long are they going to hang up there?
A minute. A good minute. I don't think this is practice.
They're trying to
do something.
They're trying to sign something. One of them gets tangled up. Just no.
I'm concerned about that guy over there.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Civil War now.
Question, are we going to get the gray suits? I'm just not sure.
No Confederates, please.
Please don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's a bad idea.
Among them, 5 future presidents and the first recipients of a brand new military decoration, the Medal of Honor. With independence won, our nation's westward expansion began. The Army moved in step, guarding settlers as native scouts lit the way. Immigrants joined the cause.
You know, Civil War history, I feel like it doesn't get talked about as much anymore.
No.
And I find it to be really fascinating, the whole... You had families literally divided based off of state lines. And you'd end up having these stories of brothers meeting each other on the battlefield and, you know... Hey, nice seeing you, brother.
As they march
Boom.
Gotta go.
the
Yeah.
uniform signals their duty, their role, and their readiness. And by the late 1850s, official regulations outlined distinct looks shaping the Army's identity and function across the force. Soldiers were issued 2 coats. One, a short sack coat for work and battle with brass buttons.
Yeah, unless you're native. But yeah.
By war's end, that rugged sack
Trail
coat
of Tears, never heard of them.
was uniform of choice. As the war escalated, volunteer enlistment.
Oh, they landed. All right.
They made it.
By support for a force of up to
It's Miller time.
5,000 new troops
Miller
answered
time.
the call to preserve the Union. As they march by, representing the Civil War era of our nation's history, is the 4th Infantry Division based out of Fort Carson, Colorado.
My man's got a Maryland flag. I feel offended.
Yeah, you know, for Joe. Oh, that's Delaware. Sorry.
That's
Joe don't know where
wrong.
his at is. They're still coming down.
Still,
Well, you know, going back to your comment of the Civil War, they think Civil War, it's like slavery. It was so much more than slavery. Yes, it was a very important part of it. I'm not saying
probably
it's
the most important part.
Probably the most important part,
It
but
is
still,
the most important.
it's not exactly how the Civil War started. It became the codifying issue a couple of years into it, but
Well, it was also the beginning. I mean, you have to look at those declarations for secession, and it says there's this one very famous one. I think it's Mississippi said, the state of Mississippi is entangled and strictly aligned with the practice of slavery, and the federal government's affront to this practice means, I think something along the lines of it is affront to Mississippi as a state, and thus proceeds.
sure. But I think the driving factor of the slavery issue was the economic issue, because the southern states were all farmland and agricultural, so they relied on slavery, where the northern states were more industrial, where they didn't need slavery.
Right.
Again, that's sort of like what puzzles. Why are these people running?
Know the name, and you'll know them by their
Why are we looking at them?
hats.
Oh, sorry, that's a little bit behind. Sorry. Oh, look, we got donkeys. Donkeys.
You got the mules. Wait, is this the
Mules, burros. First team.
That stands ready
Oh, the
to
cavalry.
win anywhere, anytime.
Texas.
The legacy rides on. This is the Cavs.
Oh, Texas.
The Lone Star State, baby.
Yeah, that whole little era, I feel like it gets glossed over.
Does he look happy? He didn't look happy. I bet there's not enough people there for him to be happy.
No, I think he just isn't. He's waiting for his time to
Back to
talk.
our sponsor, Lockheed.
Lockheed Martin.
The Army brought to you by Lockheed Martin.
If you guys didn't remember, we make your bombs.
Where we make things that go boom.
How do you deliver democracy? Through us.
It's like, up next, Tony Stark. No. It is really overcast there. I wonder if the threat of rain drove people away. Like, I'm curious what the count of people are that are on the parade route.
I'm sure there's a good a chunk, but I think they've limited the area in front of where the president is.
Yeah.
I think that's why he's looks a little down, because I'm assuming that they don't want any, especially with what happened this last night / this morning, I guess early morning. Right,
Oh yeah,
in
they're
Minnesota.
way higher.
I'm sure they said, listen, we have plans for more people to be in this area.
The last estimate I heard is they're expecting 200,000.
Years of escalating competition.
I think they may move them along the parade route.
Yeah, maybe.
Culminate in the outbreak of the First World War. The two sides engaged in a savage war of attrition, defined by opposing trenches,
Yankees hat, so I gotta be honest.
poison gas, and mass.
We're just gonna skip over the Mexican American
The
one,
United States
or was
initially
that the
maintained
Texas brigade?
That was the cavalry.
Cavalry, I guess.
Texas took care of that.
1917.
Wow.
Despite having less
How we got
than
California? I'm just saying,
soldiers
some
at
gold.
the beginning.
God, that gotta suck. Imagine you're in Mexico, you're like, oh, it's alright, it's just desert. 1 year later, guys, it's leaking gold out of here. They're like, shit.
With another 190,000.
That was literally, they didn't know gold was there. That's literally, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, take the useless desert land with the coast. We have coasts down here.
That's its max speed.
No, God, no, that would be horrible. Imagine trying to get to the front, boys. This is all you've got.
Speaking of what never gets talked about is World War One.
I love talking about it. It's very fascinating.
This 1918
The Lost
Dodge
Generation and
touring
everything
car
else.
was part of the legendary 1919 Transcontinental Convoy.
He does not look. He doesn't look very enthusiastic.
Across the Lincoln Highway. Now remember, no pavement, no.
Well, there's
GPS,
just
and
cars
full
driving
power
around. I
steering.
don't think you
Grit,
expecting to have like little
determination, and
sparklers
drive
going,
ability
yay!
into the future. This car literally helped pave the way for the roads we rely on today, and reminds us
He's ready to be like,
the Army moves. The
while this
nation
parade was
follows.
going on,
The
in the Middle East, we
1918
carried
Dodge touring car.
what he's probably thinking about. He's got a lot on his mind, especially with those
Well, he just-
situations.
He just released the phone call with Putin, or just a readout of it, not the transcript. They're not going to release that, but
No.
Headquartered in New York, this is the 42nd Infantry Division Band. At the start of World War I, the 42nd Infantry Division was formed with troops from 27 National Guard units.
I love those
stretching
uniforms.
across the country like
The
a
World War
rainbow.
I ones. I
Composed
don't know. I love the
of
helmets.
what do they call those? Doughboy helmets?
Yeah, they're called Doughboy helmets. We kind of borrowed them from the British. They had their own kind of version. I think it's a little bit of a longer.
But what do you mean Doughboy? Like, what's the Doughboy thing?
Doughboy, I think what you nicknamed the guys who first had like those machine guns. They were Browning machine guns, so they're called Doughboys. Because they looked like they were just carrying a bunch of clips, everything. I think that's where it comes from. I could be wrong, but if I recall correctly, that's where it
for New
is.
York State Corrections.
Where it
Commanded by
originates.
Chief Warrant Officer 2 Ethan Wagner and led by Drum Major Sergeant First Class Drew Gans, the band is performing.
This is like also the
Over
war where the
There
Marines were really
1917
established.
by Broadway,
Yeah.
composer
Which is also
and
really
recipient
interesting.
Of the Congressional
Oh, the
Gold
Rainbow
Medal,
Division. There you
George
go.
M. Cohan.
Well, it is
Exactly.
Pride Month.
No.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help
I
it.
was gonna say the Rainbow Division's really well known because in World War II they went to Dachau.
Oh, yeah.
They even they liberated Dachau. They have a plaque there and everything.
When the Americans entered the
Dachau
War,
being a very
our
sad place.
soldiers under the command of General
Talk
Blackjack
about it.
Pershing hit the trenches in the new standard.
Yeah, you know.
It was
No,
an
no, but I think we all know what I'm
winter
referring to.
service
But anyways,
uniform. Now,
it's a
on
very
their heads,
famous
you see a
division.
steel helmet with sand-textured paint built to deflect deadly
What I
shrapnel
find
from
funny is
above.
this: in World War
Not
I, they
bulletproof,
had
but battle tough. Nicknamed the
established
Pershing
kind of the
Group,
Marines
on
fully
their
there.
feet was the
I think
M9
they were
Yankee
already established like
1918
before,
French group.
but they really
The
got
group
their
was designed
kind
to
of
survive
medals
the brutal
and
grind
kind of
of trench
notoriety during the
warfare.
war.
And on their backs,
And
a field pack,
the rifle they were
rations,
given was
ammo,
called the
first aid, and a
M1903,
gas
right?
mask.
See, there seems to be a good
Everything
crowd of
to
people
point
there, but I mean,
and
it doesn't look like 200,000.
No, they're spread out probably. There's not as much probably allowed in this area. Look at the security. It's very
Incidentally, the
limited.
42nd Infantry
I guess,
Division
yeah.
I think they
deployed
changed
heavy
plans
combat
because of last
abroad
night.
and then deployed again in World War
They
II,
don't want to risk
ultimately
nothing.
liberating the Dachau
But as I was
concentration
saying, that
camp.
rifle,
The 42nd
I bring it up
responded to
because
the terrorist attacks
it was
on
made in
9/11.
1903.
Later, with
They
the
were
war on
forced to still
terrorism,
use it
the
in World
rainbow
War
was
II while
stretched
the Army
across
got the
world
M1
again,
Garand
deploying in
and
Iraq
stripper clips.
and
They had to still
Afghanistan.
manually load.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's
that sounds terrible.
they were forced. Well, the reason why is because I think I forgot who was the
Thundering
head of the
into
Marines
view,
that
the
said,
pride of Fort
"My Marines
Sill,
won't
the
use
US
this.
Army
They won't
artillery
use
half
it.
section.
We're real
This
men.
is literally
You
powered
load your
by
bullet one by
horsepower
one.
and
Good luck."
heritage. This elite ceremonial unit honors the legacy
Hey,
of
it
the
worked.
Army's horse-drawn
Kind of.
artillery. With precision,
Horsies.
discipline, and six
I love
majestic
horsies.
horses pulling a vintage 1918 caisson, the half section keeps tradition alive and rolling strong.
Told you about Dachau.
Representing the power, pride, and precision of America's
You heard
field
him say
artillery.
talking about Dachau.
This is Fort Sill's finest, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, look at this guy. His job is to clean up the shit.
Isn't that just perfect?
He's like, clean up the poop. What's your job in the military parade? Pick up the horse shit.
The shit.
Special
Form
thanks to our
energy.
sponsor,
Form energy. Don't know what they are, but okay.
I'm waiting for G Fuel to be next. G Fuel. when you're launching drone strikes.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, I was right. ITT history. Even they know.
This part of the parade brought to you by Nike. Just do it. No.
No.
History's darkest hour, the United States Army was on the front
Dude,
lines.
425,000 soldiers died storming Normandy, both German, if you combine German. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. And I see all these like these people protesting, and they're like calling Trump and calling the ICE Nazis and whatnot.
They gotta
And
stop.
they're like saying, we're fighting the Nazis. I'm like, dude, if I put you on a boat to Normandy back then, you would have been crying, pissing your...
I would cry. Anyone would be.
But I mean, they have no idea what a Nazi really is.
No, and I think the problem with
Oh, look at that.
what we do today
Mighty
is
B-25
whole
Mitchell.
U.S. Army Air Force.
Up next, the Cadillac of the Sky. The
Ancestor
P-51
as a bomber, you know that?
Yeah, there was a P-51 Mustang that flew by.
That was, yeah,
The
I love the
Sky,
people.
back down on the ground.
wore-
In
he
World
flew
War
a
II,
Fortress,
one vehicle led the
P-52.
Yeah.
charge, the legendary quarter.
Great story. I wish we could go over here, but it's all a long story. But anyways.
It's a very long story.
Very
We'll go
long
over it
story.
at
He's got a
one point.
monument.
Might have a Jeep in
Yes, he
the
does.
driveway, but not like this.
We got to get those
US
papers
Army
back.
Top Quarter
They're in
10
Texas.
Commander
Yes, I would love
Gadsden's
that.
Better known as the Jeep. was an iconic vehicle of World War II. and
But
was
I think,
the
yeah, back to what
world's
you were
first
saying. We
mass-produced
used
four-wheel drive vehicle.
what should I, can I say it out loud on
Almost
stream, or is that
every
not?
military activity,
What?
including command
What
vehicles,
the Germans were
cars,
in that period of time.
Sure, go ahead. I get it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah,
These are the
it's
words you
historical.
see around
American
too
ingenuity.
much.
Yeah, we're.
That it's honestly it's losing its significance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't lie, but I mean, social media. How much stuff do we see related to that now?
From Fort Bragg,
So
North
not
Carolina,
as
this is the
not given the
82nd
gravity it should
Airborne
be addressed.
ceremonial band.
Now it's kind of just casual.
Yeah.
The
And I think
82nd
that's the
received
bad.
nickname All-American
Like
back
calling
in
you, if you and I were in an argument, and you called me like
every state.
stupid or something like that. That's you know what I mean. It's like it's the same thing.
It's like it's not becoming the same meaning like Jack.
Yeah.
If that's what we're
Bragg's
using it
finest,
now in
ladies
terms
and
of
gentlemen.
political and
Give them a
debates
big
and
round of
arenas.
applause, the 82nd
Oh, the airborne, right?
Band.
Yeah, 82nd Airborne.
These guys, that's talk about historic division there.
This guy's like a little crouched here. The guy behind me is a little
Slumped over.
over.
I won't lie, the helmets look better back then.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, they probably aren't better than what we have today, absolutely, but they
In a
look
global
nicer.
fight like World
Can we
War II,
appreciate the look,
US
the
Army
style?
knew our troops needed
You
more
know,
than
the
that.
boys storming
They
Normandy.
needed
Gotta look
innovation.
good.
Uniforms evolved for every
do.
environment, but olive drab
Hey,
remained the
salute.
mark of
That's
the American
nice.
soldier.
It's
Shaped
a
by
little behind
lessons
from what
the
we're seeing.
trenches of World War I, the Army introduced two battlefield essentials: the M1 helmet, tough, stable, and built to protect under fire, and the M1 Garand rifle, powerful and fast. It gave American troops a very clear edge. General George S. Patton called the M1 rifle the greatest battle implement ever designed, and history proved him right. The 82nd Airborne Division. The unit is best known for their bravery.
Does he
on
have to
D-Day,
stand for
when
everybody going by
12,000
and salute him?
parachute and glider
I think so.
troops destroyed
I
German
think it's
supply
tradition.
lines after fighting for 33
When they have
days
these
straight.
parades.
Yeah. All right, there it looks like there's a ton of people in the background.
I think it's now kind of filing back in more, you know. Also, maybe you were right about the weather.
Yeah.
It looks like it's starting to
The
clear up a bit
101st
better.
Airborne Division,
The
based out of
overcast is
Fort
going.
Campbell, Kentucky, traces its lineage back to 1918 when
Now,
it
who are
was
these things?
established as the 101st Division. Known for their ability to rapidly deploy across
Talking about the
world,
M1 rifle.
The unit has held
No, these guys in the
a
black here. You're
since
behind,
its
but
inception.
oh, these are airborne too. This is the 101st. There's still
Yeah, it's still
101st.
the airborne,
Leading
yeah, absolutely.
helicopter assaults in Vietnam, the 101st redefined modern warfare. In the 50s, the Screaming Eagles stood tall at home, protecting the Little Rock Nine during the fight for civil rights. In recent decades, they've been set across
don't
the
talk
world
about,
extents as
Operation
far
Market
as the
Garden,
Middle
though,
East,
boys.
where
I think
they
that's this
took part in
division.
Operation
Yeah.
Desert Storm and participated
Had
extensively
to liberate the Netherlands
in the
early.
war on
Turns out
terrorism
it's a lot
in
more
Iraq and
difficult than
Afghanistan. The Screaming Eagles continue to lead the way as tomorrow's division in today's Army.
Oh, we got a
Oh, we got a
Patton.
The
tank.
iconic Sherman
Oh,
tank
we got
is
a
here,
good
ladies and
old...
gentlemen. It was
Oh, no,
recorded
Patton.
in
That's a Sherman tank.
Thank you, Sherman. Sorry, I said
showing
Patton.
its
Because
military
I'm used to
might
call them
in
Patton because
World
there's always
War
pictures of
II.
him in
It
it.
became
Yeah, he
one
loved
of
those
the
things.
most
Loved those
influential tank designs of the 20th century. The M4
You know what's funny
tank
about those
nicknamed
things?
the Sherman tank.
They were,
ever
don't get me wrong, they were
since
good
the
tanks, but they were
Sherman
very easy to
actually
build.
was named by the
and
British.
pretty cheap for us
With
to
almost
make.
50,000
So what ended up
produced during
happening
World
is
War II,
the German
Sherman
tanks were
tank
really
was in
good.
active
They were the best of the
service
best.
until
The Panzers.
The
1957.
Panzers and the King Tigers. So, and we realized, well, a King Tiger or a
In
Panzer
World
can
War
take out
II,
like
the
4 of us.
M16
But if there's a
half-track
5th one, it's over.
to be reckoned
So
with.
what ended up happening is we just sent 5 M2 Shermans. One would survive. But there goes the German tank, and they couldn't rebuild it fast. They lost their veteran crew, so it was just a matter of numbers.
Devastating.
Not saying the tank was bad, our tank was great.
Vietnam and beyond.
The hell is that thing?
Could spam it like crazy.
The M16 half-track brings the fight wherever it rolls.
But that's the half track. Okay. But the thing behind it, what the hell is that?
No clue.
Thing looks like it could go through a brick wall.
Probably did.
Probably
Some
probably does.
1944 German village in the Rhine. Just having dinner.
Yeah, this thing. What is this thing? Maybe it's just a supply vehicle.
Probably, maybe it was a command vehicle also.
The U.S. Army Transportation Corps motto states,
Used it in Vietnam
nothing
and
happens
a
until
half track,
something
too?
moves. That was never more true than with this. Look at this, the 2.5-ton Chevrolet.
Well, usually the half track
Deuce
had
and a
the
half. It can move up to
AA
10,000
weapon, I think, on
pounds
the
of
back,
cargo and
if
was
I'm not
the
mistaken.
backbone
So the
of
thing was
Red Ball
versatile.
Express that kept the Allies supplied after D-Day in World War
That's just a
II.
truck. That's not a special cut. That's just you took a truck and put bigger
It's a
wheels.
big truck.
It's a big truck. What's your job? I carry food,
Carry ammunition.
carry boxes.
Big ass chain hanging on the back, on the front of it. That's a tow truck.
It's just that's all it is a tow truck.
It's a tow truck.
It's actually towing a Jeep.
This part of the military parade brought to you by Jeep. No.
The Korean War.
Oh,
Korea. Yay! Korea.
1950, with the North Korean Army's invasion.
That's
of
a
South
really
Korea.
forgotten war. Talk about a forgotten war because it happens like right after World War II. And right before Vietnam. It gets almost forgotten immediately.
The coalition
It's a shame too, because that was honestly
in the spring.
a lot happened there.
A
A lot was determined there in terms of world relations after that and during
that
that crisis.
1951, until the armistice was signed 2 years later in
And it doesn't change at all. This shade of green's a little lighter. That's
Small
it.
Attacks, raids, and patrolling. During this war, the United States deployed approximately.
Wasn't it the first time we actually fought the Chinese?
Yeah, we didn't intend to go to war with them. They were afraid that.
Well, Patton wanted to. No, MacArthur wanted to.
MacArthur wanted to after they poured over the North Korean
Yeah.
border because they were afraid that we were just going to keep on going, which we weren't. We had no intent. That is a war we do not want. Take over China? No, thank you. No. But they just say, hey, listen, we can't let North Korea fall because then it's just
Special
an
thanks to our
American
sponsor,
democracy ally
Coinbase.
on the border. Coinbase.
Crypto. All right.
Crypto, boys.
Got some crypto.
Sweet old crypto. But yeah, MacArthur wanted to use nuclear bombs as like a
Yeah, he got a little screwy. He got a little screwy.
Do you know the what he had in mind? Where they had stopped their push over the North Korean border.
54th parallel.
No, not the 54th parallel. So this was like right after they had just crossed over the North Korean border.
Kept
and then
rolling
we were
along
still-
as the lightweight, high-mobility, general-purpose vehicle replacing the famed World War II.
I heard
Jeep
something.
back in
I heard something. I think
1961.
something about a window.
Officially named the military utility
Double
tactical
check.
truck,
Hold
or
Yeah.
MUT, most servicemen generally referred to it as a Jeep. The vehicle spanned more than 40 years in 4 manufacturers and were everywhere that the Army was deployed.
The window was open.
I know.
Yeah,
I like fresh air.
I like fresh air too, but I guess no fresh air for you.
No fresh air for me?
Also, I have windows, water, no.
Whatever. It's the rainy
Another
season
little
down here in
earlier,
Mexico.
at 2.5
But,
tons,
back
this
to what I was
2.5,
saying, so
the
right where they had, like,
M35A2
stopped their initial
classic
advance
military
over the
transport
North Korean
truck
border, there was
was
this
a mainstay
line.
of the U.S.
They
Army
kind of had
for
formed, like
decades,
obviously a defensive
particularly
or a
during
new
the Vietnam
war line,
War and
essentially for the
Operation Iraqi
Americans and
Freedom.
UN forces.
The Deuce and a half proved
He
its
wanted to
value
take every
moving
nuclear
cargo,
bomb we had.
supplies, and soldiers.
Well,
Its
maybe not every, but a good
capabilities
chunk of
include
them.
up to
In like
5,000
a
pounds
dual
off-road
bombing
and
run
10,000
line,
pounds
straight
on-road,
down of nukes.
making it ideal for moving just
Pretty much want to
about
drop like
anything.
eight suns on the line and use the radiation as like cover in the
In the
fallout.
jungles of Vietnam,
And then advance
the US
over.
Army faced a new kind of war.
Oh, Vietnam.
Helicopters
Isn't that nuts?
became the new
Yeah, he was nuts. That's
He
why
got
they
sacked
he
immediately.
got fired.
Like you can't just suggest that and
Oh.
then be
Some of the
there.
most unforgiving
Dude.
terrain on Earth.
Copters
This
coming
is
in.
the US
Well, look at
Army
that's the Watergate Hotel in the background.
Very famous.
Very
Vietnam.
famous. President Nixon. Very famous. That's a very good Vietnam symbol, yeah.
There you go.
Dude, when I see this picture, all I think of is Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. God, I love those helicopters. They look cool. I think the helicopters was like a cavalry unit in the army is one of my favorites.
They helped define
Outside of
the
tanks,
Vietnam
but
War.
because I feel like they're
That
underrated.
staccato beat of the rotor blades
They look
was a
cool,
welcome
they've got
sound
a-
of many
I don't know.
troops
Just- they
mired
look
in
dope.
combat. From
They look cool, yeah, they do.
medevac to close air support and reconnaissance, they brought the fight to the front and pulled the wounded.
The actual
to
advertisement for this military parade should be like,
OH-6
keep
Tiger
rioting.
scouted
This
the
is what's coming to a city near you.
Oh God, no.
The AH-1 Cobra, also nicknamed the Snake, brought serious
no.
firepower.
Dude.
Its slim design, as you can see here, helped it survive and thrive in hostile environments to protect.
You know, talking about a
soldiers.
war that was a real mistake.
And the
It was
icon
huge.
of the era, the UH-1 Huey.
What is
the
it?
first
JFK signed the
turbine-powered
order
helicopter
initially,
in
but
service
he
with the
didn't want
US
to be there
military.
long term. He just
There was
wanted to
nothing
He
to
actually
do
signed an order to end it, to pull the
General
troops out.
support, air
And then he got
assault,
assassinated.
transport,
Yeah, he said that can just convenience.
Yeah.
Ground attack mission.
That was a.
The
Because I think he
Kairos
realized that.
Cobra
It's like, this is not our
ladies and
business.
gentlemen, three
It
iconic
was never really our
Army
business.
symbols
We could have
in the
supported the
sky.
South.
They didn't care. The South didn't want to fight.
I mean, because they had us there.
No, not even when we were there. They just like they just weren't
The
interested.
first Cavalry
We shouldn't
Division
have been.
band, based out of Fort Cavazos, Texas, is
The most
played
we should have
upon
done would have been like, hey, you
U.S.
want to leave
military
Vietnam
history.
and
Since
live in the
its
U.S.?
origins
Go
back
ahead.
in 1855, as
Here's
the
some
band of the
shit.
Second Cavalry,
Running
it supported
humanitarian, you know what I mean?
operations
Yeah,
from the
and then what
Civil
Nixon
War
did was
district.
terrible. He should have
Over
been.
time,
Him and
it's
Kissinger
evolved
are war
into
criminals, as far
a
as I'm
powerful
concerned.
force
When it comes to that,
using
oh,
its
Cambodia.
combined
Oh,
arms
oh yeah, we
to
don't talk. Well, the
engage
thing
with
is,
communities.
okay, I'm not
From World War
justifying, but I
II
understand
Korea
their
to the Vietnam War and
thinking when it
Bosnia,
came to
the first team
they're using
band
these countries
has
as
enhanced
supply
morale and
lines.
upheld the division's
Doesn't give us a
military
right to
legacy.
bomb them. I
Can't
understand
bomb
the
'em.
military
The band continues its
strategy of,
mission using
the
music
thinking
to shape
behind it. Like
perceptions,
you're gonna hit the
fostering
supply
trust
lines
in
wherever they
national
are.
army and division interests.
Granted, it breaks every law in the
Standing ready
book.
to serve, it remains an enduring symbol of the
Terrible.
First Cavalry
Women and children
Division's
burned.
legacy
I know, I don't
and
support it.
commitment to duty. The band performs.
And I feel bad for Vietnam War vets because it's not their fault.
Yeah, it's not their fault. They got sent. They didn't want to go.
They didn't want to go. They were
Fuck you there.
Transition from horses to mechanized warfare.
You know, I'm going to lower this for a second because I heard something interesting from a vet. Vietnam vet in a documentary. He goes, the reason why veterans coming back from World War II did so much better transitioning in society is that they came back on boats. So they had like a month and a half to be with their buddies and kind of decompress and kind of like go through their stories. And it was like therapy, right? But Vietnam vets, like your tour's over here. You're on a plane in 12 hours.
You're home.
You're home. It's like there was no transition. There was no help. There was no mental health. And so they're like, that's why he goes, World War II vets handled it a lot better than Vietnam War.
As the war
That
intensified,
and, as you mentioned,
troops numbers quickly grew as the war between the South
they
Vietnamese
didn't want
government
to talk
and
about
the
it.
communist insurgents
Some of them had to do
supported by North
horrible
Vietnam
things that they couldn't
intensified.
refuse to do.
By January 1969,
You ever hear the term? I think it's called fragging.
64,200
Yeah, I
soldiers
heard it.
organized around
They,
7
there's a
divisions of
documentary I've been
27
watching on
combat
Netflix.
brigades.
They talk about
The United States
I don't
began
blame
withdrawing
them.
its forces
Yeah.
in
Some of
July
those
1969.
commanders of
The last
certain
Army
divisions
combat unit left South Vietnam
should have been
in
a
August of
court-martial.
71.
Yeah.
The last U.S. combat soldier.
And I mean, given the worst of worst punishments, these poor boys, 18, in a place they don't want to be in, you're now telling them to commit
April
atrocities?
1975.
It's a tough war to talk about. It's a very tough war.
There's a great book called The Things They Carried
Representing
about the
the
Vietnam.
War
love that
era
book.
is
It's a
the
great book if you
101st
want a book on the
Airborne Division
Vietnam
based out of
War,
Fort Campbell,
what soldiers
Kentucky.
went through. It's a great book. By
The
Tim
unit
O'Brien?
wearing
Is it Tim
replica
O'Brien?
Yes, I think
Vietnam
it's Tim
War
O'Brien.
uniforms
Yeah, he was an
signifying
actual
the
veteran.
soldiers who
I'm gonna turn
served
this
our
back up
nation
here.
during this time. Blistering heat, thick
What's the
humidity,
war that came
and
after?
unforgiving terrain
Vietnam
demanded
was
uniform
against-
innovation.
No,
And the
after
Army,
Vietnam,
they delivered.
Panama
These
invasion.
lightweight uniforms
Well, I mean,
Grenada.
well, what they're gonna
with
show
the
here,
soldier.
probably.
The M16 replaced the M1 Garand, calling for redesigned.
Because Panama, I think,
aircraft
was kind of kept
faster
under.
reloads in combat.
Oh, Panama was.
Body armor
I
got
was watching it live on
Soldiers
CNN.
got lighter and field equipment was reimagined to meet the mission.
I would
head-on.
think then
God,
it would
the
be.
Mickey Mouse boots replaced by
Would you call it
combat
Yugoslavia, the
boots that
Serbian
offered
wars?
better grip, faster
We didn't really.
flying,
Okay,
and
but it's not like a war
all-day
we were in there
endurance.
for like long. We were there as UN. We were just
Yeah.
bombing. We weren't.
Well, then
troops on the
Kuwait.
ground. Kuwait? Yeah, Kuwait. It would have been the. I was gonna say somewhere in the Middle East. I thought.
Yeah, that would be the next war we were in. Like war.
Special
war.
thanks to our sponsor, Oracle.
Oracle is a sponsor. Oracle. We make the software that make the drones fly.
You grab your M16 rifle. It's got like an Oracle stamp on it. It's like branding.
It's like the old.
sponsor.
It's like the old Simpsons joke. The missile going up. It says Intel inside.
Yeah, exactly my point. Gotta pay for these.
Yeah, the Gulf War. Yep.
Gulf War. Yeah.
When Saddam Hussein's Iraq invaded Kuwait in August 1990.
Your opinion on the Gulf War?
US
Mate,
Army
I
deployed
think it made
to
sense to
Saudi
protect
Arabia
Kuwait.
deter further
Yeah,
radical
treaty. You couldn't let that guy take over all that shit.
as
No, no, God, no.
Operation
No.
Desert Shield.
No, and they were. I mean, Saddam was brutal. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, no, brutal.
They could call it a war for oil or anything like that, but I mean, yeah, it was. But
Well,
still,
Gulf War wasn't for the war for oil. That was just pushing on.
well, I mean, you didn't want Saddam to control the oil fields of Kuwait.
No.
So a lot of the criticism was it was a war for oil, but still, that guy was a nut job.
Infrastructure and weaken Iraqi forces. The ground offensive was launched in early 1991, where military forces overwhelmingly destroyed enemy tanks and vehicles.
Yeah, we fucked them up.
After only 100
Oh yeah,
hours
no.
of ground
There's a.
combat,
I
coalition
don't
troops
remember if it's
liberated
Gulf War or if
Kuwait,
it's.
and the Gulf War
When we
ended
first invaded
with
Iraq,
surrender.
there's the highway. I think it was Highway to Hell or Highway of Misery.
Yeah, highway to hell.
Highway to Hell. I don't remember if that's Iraq or if that's the Gulf War because it's very similar area geography wise.
Yeah.
And it is honestly, I feel bad if you were an Iraqi going up that road. Nighttime, you're thinking, oh, there's just some fires, we can make it home.
Infantry division,
Out in the middle of the night.
Story division.
Artillery,
Nicknamed the Big Red One because of the distinctive red on
gunfire.
their patch. As the oldest continuously serving division in the U.S. Army,
He should have got
Enid
into
has
Baghdad, though.
participated in every major
Shouldn't
operation
have.
since World War
He should
I,
have.
living
At that
up to
time
its
in the Gulf
motto,
War?
No mission
Well,
too
at
difficult.
that point you had
no
Iran also.
sacrifice
That's why
too
I think
great
we also didn't
to
want to.
Bring it on.
We didn't want to.
The
Well, no,
first
because
infantry
we
division
were
was
afraid of what could
originally
happen
established as the
geopolitically
first
because Iran had just become
expeditionary division
unstable.
in 1917.
Right.
and
Yeah, but the
spearheaded
Saudis were with us.
expeditionary
Qatar was
forces
with
in
us.
France
Kuwait was with
during
us.
True,
World
true,
War I.
true.
In
But
World
even
War
after,
II,
I mean, even
the
in
fighting
Iraq,
force stormed
what,
Omaha Beach
2000s,
on D-Day
they were with
and
us.
liberated
Didn't
Nazi
work.
For a little bit.
concentration camps. The highly
Then we
decorated
started,
unit
you know,
has
oh,
had
this is
37 members of
that
the
war
Big
was a
Red
lie.
One awarded
That was a bad war.
The Medal of Honor in Washington.
I'm not
DC,
sure which is
the
worse,
First Division
Vietnam or the
stands
second
in
Gulf War.
President's Park, memorializing those who
I
died
wanna
while
say
serving
Vietnam
in the
because we had the
1st Infantry
draft.
Division.
Yeah, I
Ladies and
guess,
gentlemen,
yeah.
they
I think
are
Vietnam
the Big
beats
Red
just
One, the 1st
narrowly.
Infantry Division.
Because we were stuck in Iraq for so long, and what did we get? Nothing.
Yeah, I got
No,
nothing.
maybe oil.
No, we didn't really. Oh, yeah, I guess, but still,
Even then,
it was perpetrated by a lie. Even Colin Powell's like, this is bullshit.
and he's like, "This is like the one thing I don't want to sign off on."
More
Yep.
military rolling stock. During Operation Desert Storm, the M2 Bradley fighting vehicle proved its value on the battlefield. It is fast, it is tough, and it is lethal.
I was saying before
Named
I-
for General Omar
I
Bradley,
joined you,
a leader
I was
from West Point's
watching,
famed class of 1916.
some World War II
the Bradley
documentaries,
was
but
built
more
to carry
focused
troops
on
into combat.
Germany, because you
Protection
don't find
and
anything on like Germany
Armed with
since
a
like
25mm
what was it
chain-driven
like
cannon and
certain
twin
places
tube-launched
within that
optically
country.
tacked
So I thought it was really
wire-guided
ironic
missiles.
that I came off
It
of
played
that
a
to this.
critical role in clearing the way during the ground
So they're
assault into
talking about all
Iraq.
these
While the Paladin
these
looks and
these
sounds
units that
like a
liberated
tank,
these
it is
bases. I'm like, oh, I
technically
just learned that the other day.
self-propelled howitzer
I just
that
learned that
was
already.
first introduced back
So
in
I
the
think it's pretty
1960s. Over the years, it's been
It is very
upgraded to
interesting.
perform
It's a hell of a
on
tank.
versatile
Yeah.
battlefields from Vietnam to
You
the
see about
Soviet
30 of
Union
those
to
rolling
Iraq.
at you, you're like, ah, maybe not.
They're all rugged, no? Mm-hmm. I don't like the side plate. It doesn't really scream protection. I'm sure it takes a couple hits.
I'm sure it takes a few.
Yeah, but usually you want your things angled for like armor, so it bounces off. If it's flat, it's a straight penetration almost.
It's an interesting turret. That one screams
That
devastation.
screams problem.
This take you. Dude, are they cracking the street? Are those things are 70 tons each? Are they cracking the street or are they
I wouldn't be
fine?
surprised. They might be hollowed out.
You know, in the big beautiful build, there's $45 million when they pass it to pay for this thing, this whole parade.
Damn.
Yeah,
45?
Yeah, this parade is between 25 and $45 million, depending on the repairs they're going to have to do to everything afterwards, and then to get everything back. And
See any cracks on the road? I don't.
I don't see any
Not
cracks.
yet. Well,
no.
watch when the Abrams come. Then you'll see.
Oh
cracks.
yeah, the Abrams. Oh Jesus, that thing's shaking pretty good.
Yeah. My favorite tank story.
All right, test fire.
Just straight into the crowd. Just had to make sure, boys. Just had to check.
Trump's like, oh, Dana White's in the crowd. All right, oh, he's up there. Who's that dude next to him?
It's a 4 or 5 star general.
No, the other dude in the suit looked like a.
Not a.
Yeah, here comes the.
I was saying, what was I saying?
About
Oh, my
a tank.
favorite tank story. This, I guess, group of kids in Poland went into this Polish war museum, and I guess they had, I don't remember if it was a German tank from World War II or if it was a British tank.
Yeah,
Either it was a World War II tank.
it was alive.
Oh, they stole it.
Oh Jesus.
They took it and they drove around town. So there's this hilarious picture of these kids just driving this tank around town. Some poor grandfather's probably just woken up in the middle of the night. He's like, no, they're back again.
Back again. Look at Rubio. He's just hanging and banging.
Rubio's
Linda McMahon right there. Wonder where her husband probably is.
Who's her?
I have no clue. For a minute there, I thought it was Ivana, but it's not. It's probably Rubio's wife.
Yeah, the Gulf War.
But I was
division
saying,
honor or move
Dude, he looked
fast
casual.
enough.
He looked casual.
He looked
for- I was saying-
relaxed.
The first armored division.
probably 'cause he's like, well, we have this behind us.
Yeah. customizable armor division in the United States.
He's like, I'm gonna have to call these
As part
boys
of
up in a
building
minute.
the world
I'm
cavalry
not gonna
and
like going back to the
reconnaissance units
sandbox.
brought
That's why I call it Middle East now.
Division
It's the
in
sandbox.
1940.
You can't get
In the
out of
Gulf
it.
War, no,
No, you
division
can't.
hit harder or moved
gotta-
faster
Once in the
than British
sandbox,
armor.
you gotta keep
Old
playing till you build that
Ironsides
castle.
really
Well, you
led
saw
the way.
Iran make the declaration: if
During
you're helping
Desert Storm,
defend
they engaged in
Israel,
some of the
we're going to
largest
attack
tank
you.
battles in Army
Yeah, I
history
saw that. I just
that
don't
were
think that's gonna
decisive
go well.
victories,
I'm like,
shattering
good luck.
enemy
It's
formations.
like every neighbor.
Based in Fort Bliss,
Because
Texas,
everyone's shot down
America's
missiles.
tank division is currently supporting missions in 20 countries.
gotta power
across
up the
5
computer here.
continents. From World War II to today, Old Ironsides remains
There we go.
battle proven.
Get some juice in
and
that sucker.
always ready.
You know, all these guys that are marching are like, please don't send us to the sandbox. Please don't send us.
Just
Like, we'll
sand-
go if you ask us to, but we really don't want to go to the sandbox.
Just got sand out of my fucking
But-
uniform already.
But if you send us to the sandbox, just let us finish the job. Just none of this occupation stuff, none of this nation building. Just wipe it out. Just
Restart.
Just let them restart. Just
Well, this would be a different sandbox. This would be a more rugged one. It'd be Iran then. you
it'd be
know?
Iran.
Which that's okay. Afghanistan. If you thought Afghanistan was hell, Iran is worse geography-wise. I can tell you straight off the bat.
Yeah.
The geography there is like 10 times worse.
Just drone it. Just drone the thing.
You can't drone it because it's all mountains. So everything's underground.
Bunker busters.
Bunker busters. You need bunker busters. drills.
Moabs. I wonder if they're gonna roll a Moab through the street.
What, it got like an Iranian flag on it.
You know what a Moab is, right?
Yeah, I know. Mother of all bombs.
Mother of all bombs. They
The
only
most-
dropped one once.
It was enough.
It was
It
enough.
was enough. The town disappeared. Got the most devastating non-nuclear bomb device.
Well, I guess I was reading about it. I guess it explodes just before it hits the ground, and it's like an incendiary, so it sucks in all the air at first in like a millisecond, and then blows out fire everywhere for like half a mile.
Which is what nuclear bombs never hit the ground.
That's right.
They
Christy
they
Nome,
detonate in the air. Or
Joni Ernst, Senator. That's Steve Witkoff, that's Special Envoy.
Texting.
There's a lot. Yeah, he's probably like you know who he's probably texting. He's probably texting the Russians, or he's texting the Israelis or the Iranians, being like,
Can we not do this?
We're not. Well, they canceled his whole visit Sunday.
To where?
He was supposed to be Sunday, tomorrow, and Monday in Qatar talking to the Iranians to finish the nuclear deal.
Oh yeah, but we found out they were like days away from a nuclear
Yeah.
bomb. It's like, well, this was a whole farce now, wasn't it?
Well, they were just stringing us along.
exactly.
And
So it's like, well,
now they canceled the whole thing, and then he's like, well, how about now?
can't really do talks anymore. I think that's why the Russia called. Putin was like, okay, so we may have known about this a little bit, or maybe they didn't even know.
Putin didn't know. Putin's too busy.
Well, no, but I don't think Putin knew about the days away from it. Because no one wants them to get it.
No. Even Putin said that in the readout of the call. They agree. They
We don't want. They want to protect them as an ally because they have an interest with them being in the region.
What Putin said, the exact reading of what Trump said that he and Putin agreed on is that Iran should never be in a position to wipe out Israel, to devastate Israel. So it never says, hey, they shouldn't have a nuclear weapon.
Lighter and more mobile than larger artillery, it was built for the infantry.
Yeah, well, because
brigade.
Putin won't ever just
Fire high
flat
in
out
the
say
air
that. But
with
that's as
the
close as you're going to get
target,
to.
depending on
They
the
shouldn't
issue.
have it.
Yeah.
Whether
Because you don't want
used in
to
battery
make your position
formation
look weak
or
as a Russian.
standalone support weapon,
Yeah,
the
right.
M19 delivered reliable, responsible fire when it mattered most.
Dude, there's
Still in
nobody
service
on that
today,
side.
including on the
Oh,
front
they
lines
cleared
in
it for a
Ukraine,
reason.
It remains a trusted
Like I told you,
part
security
of the
concerns
Army's
probably.
arsenal.
They probably were going to allow that whole area to be kind of filled.
I don't think there's that many people there.
I don't think that. I think it's because the security. I think, listen, you had that guy in Minnesota go nuts.
Yeah.
You have threats in Texas at the Capitol that are credible.
Yeah.
I think, listen, Secret Service and security said, can't let this happen for a second time with you here. Shut it down.
Maybe
Cut
they.
ears.
I get a 250th birthday. Maybe they should have waited until July 4th to do this.
No, well,
Special
because
thanks
it's just
to our
it's
sponsor,
Independence Day, and it would be
UFC.
weird to just have the army only do it.
Brought to you by the UFC.
That's why Dana's. Ah, there you go, Dana White.
Dude, some people are really into the UFC, and I get that, okay. But I just, for me, I can't figure out like who's who. I guess that's why I'm a wrestling guy, because of the personalities. I can keep track of people.
Well, also boxing. I like boxing.
I used to like boxing.
Now it's a little hard to get into it again.
Yeah, I used to like boxing. I used to love boxing. Middleweights, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, great fights.
My favorite historic boxer is Sugar Ray Robinson.
Oh yeah,
On September
He's like
11,
129 and 1.
terrorists
Yeah.
destroyed
He went
the World
92
Trade
and 0,
Center
and then he
in New York
lost
City
his
and
first fight.
struck the Pentagon in Washington.
Global
War on
Washington
Terror.
Commercial airliners.
Oh,
In
terror.
response, the U.S.
Terror.
launched
He was
the
cut
global
off here
war
from
on
here. Just started
terrorism.
beginning.
The U.S. would stop potential threats around the world and take the fight to terrorist groups.
So this is
Nations
we're
that
wrapping up
benefit.
soon. Right?
This is it. This is it.
Immediately
This is the last
forces to
stretch.
Afghanistan.
Maybe they're gonna do like previews, like coming
Yeah,
attractions,
coming.
coming Iran,
Sandbox 2.
Taiwan.
Back again. Army's back. In the sandbox.
Oh my God. Yeah, that would be awesome. Hey,
No, I don't want to get drafted.
here's a preview. Oh yeah, you'd get drafted, wouldn't you?
The Taliban returned to power.
Yeah, probably.
Over the
Oh,
course
good for
of
you.
the 2 decade
See?
conflict, over
Somebody
2
wants you.
servicemen and
You know what's
women,
funny is they
less than
probably wouldn't shoot
1%
me
of the
now.
American population
They think I'm on their side.
of the global
That's skin
war on
color.
terrorism.
That's true. You are.
Actually, you know what's funny? It's a fun story. I was in I told you
United
in
States
Egypt,
Army.
right?
Yeah.
For that one event with the university. And we had a day where we were just kind of in the downtown area of where this event was. I'm not gonna name the town specifically. And we started, my friends kind of decided, because you know our last name.
Yeah.
It's a little Arab, right?
It's very Arab.
Very Arab. I say little.
It is Arab.
It is Arab. But
It's Arab.
Well, it's
All right.
Arab, but it's been Americanized.
It's an Americanized Arab
American,
name.
well, Europeanized, then American.
Yeah, but when you say it, dude, they're playing Barracuda. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Continue the
that
story.
makes sense. I haven't played Barracuda, but anyways, so I was in Egypt, and they asked, "Oh, what's your name?" And I knew to say my last name as when I introduced myself, because I've made jokes with the rest of the group saying, "Don't worry, I'll do the talking," because they were a little nervous because it's their first time in the Middle East. It was also my first time.
Yeah.
But they looked at me and they said, "You're a talking guy," which is just swell, just awesome, and they jumped up with joy when I said our last name. They hugged me, shook my hand.
You belong, buddy.
They were like, "Welcome home."
They're trying to
brother."
recruit you.
Dude, they were like, "Welcome
72
home."
version.
No. I'm Catholic. I'm so sorry. Did the cross over here on the other side, you guys can see. But it was really hilarious because they're just like, "Welcome home, brother."
Welcome home, brother.
That's what they said. It's what they said. The quote. They're like, "Oh, very happy to have you here." And then they were like, my other friends were like, "Where are you guys from?" They didn't really care as much for them. It was just really like, "Oh." So then I was half and half Mexican and American, right? And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, even better."
You're mixed.
Even though they were so ecstatic.
They can recruit. Look at this guy with the American cowboy hat. And American dude, he's all into it.
That guy looks like he was in Vietnam.
The guy looks like he's like, we won. Breezy there. Got a good win there. I don't see the entire cabinet there.
I didn't see no Abrams yet. You?
No, I haven't seen any.
Well, I guess maybe those green ones are the Abrams.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
just-
the big ones. They're
I'm
not,
used
they're
to
not
them.
allowed to drive them.
Well, no, I'm not used to them being painted.
Yeah,
I'm used to
sure.
seeing them. They're like tannish colors.
Tannish color, yeah. National Desert, yeah.
Mhm.
This guy looks like he's,
Green preview for Europe.
Yeah.
The jungles of Southeast Asia.
she's rocking out. She's loving it. She's like, yeah, my grandma told me all about you people.
She was like, "My grandpa turned to dust in Vietnam." Which is the lady in front of him. That's my favorite army.
Dude, I
think
wish they would give a better overhead shot so I could see the crowd.
I don't think maybe they're not allowed.
It's also a weird place to put the stage with all the trees in the way, so you can't have that much
They don't want
crowd.
cover. They want to cover.
They want to cover. There's a
Think about it.
there's a Jefferson Memorial.
Well, think-
Dude, it's a little bit of a hike. If you go from Washington, like it's a walk.
Oh, that's fine. I love walks. But also, you see why they chose the tree cover? Because think about it. You have all the generals there, the admirals,
True.
the president, the vice president, everyone in the cabinet. Dude, that designated survivor's like, this is like the worst time to get hit right now.
This guy looks bored. He looks bored. Like, driving my tank.
The casual Sunday for
It's
him.
like he's going to 7-Eleven for a slushy.
It's gotta be kind of sucky to be underneath the barrel
Yeah.
there. God forbid it drops down a little.
Boing. Ow. Boing. Ow. How many concussions do you have? 72, sir.
Good, now drop down and give me 50. Quota was 75. Private. Okay, I know that's how you're supposed to tow artillery, but I hate when the barrel is pointed inwards. It's like,
Yeah.
God forbid, it's loaded.
Yeah, shouldn't it be pointed the other way?
Shouldn't it be pointed the other way?
That guy like he's been drinking all day. That guy's like
He's remembering Vietnam.
he's remembering something. He looks so happy.
when you see your mom in the crowd. Hey,
It's the highlight of my day. The highlight of my life.
I'm hearing the concussion joke again.
Dude, if they start playing like freaking Ozzy or playing they could gathered in them.
Wow.
Dude, are we gonna get copyrighted for this music?
We probably are. It's not our fault.
It's not our fault. This is the White House feed.
No, we might not because of
range
White
of
House.
new technologies on the battlefield.
Get shut
The
down.
eight-wheeled.
Dude, I just realized that we might get copyrighted for all this stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a strike.
Just keep talking. Just keep talking.
Just keep talking. Keep talking.
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Just keep.
Or as the army says, just keep driving through the towns.
Just keep marching.
The
Just keep
Stryker armored
marching.
combat vehicle enables the team to maneuver in close and urban terrain, plus provide protection in open terrain and transport infantry quickly to critical battlefield positions.
Well, they went with rock and roll. You think they'll play any rap music? You start hearing like California. Ba-na-na-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum.
No, it's
Dude, what the hell are those things? Grenade launchers? Or
Either grenade launches or they're like
smoke? Launch smoke and stuff like
it could
that?
either launch like smoke. It could be things to kind of get missiles away.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. So much about weapons that I have no clue about.
You know a little. I know a bit from games,
Me, no.
but not much. When it comes to like artillery and stuff like that, no, not much. Like I could be completely wrong when it comes to that. Except for I know that's a 50 cal. That's a 50 cal.
Like they all stop, wave, slowly. Back it up, boys.
Back it up.
Get the White House in the distance.
Isn't near as that tank kind of tipped into the gun?
It's kind of on a raise. Yeah, it's kind of on a little.
No, it's like sinking.
Sinking. Yeah. Yeah, these four quad tubes and quad tubes and quad tubes. Yeah, those things. They're just,
Maybe it's like tear gas stuff, grenade launchers. They've got like it looks like there's something you pull and launch.
you know, that's what we're thinking right now. We're probably totally wrong. It's like,
Oh yeah.
U.S.
Absolutely.
Army Rangers predating the
yeah, Frank. Yeah, it is moving. I mean, some of the, especially the early stuff, it is amazing to see. I just think that I'm surprised there aren't more people there. I thought there were more people there.
I think there are more people. It's just they're not allowing them in that area.
Yeah.
But especially because they what's planned today? That protest.
Oh yeah,
You want somebody crazy.
Yeah, you know what?
Doing something.
Well, you got to go through all sorts of security just to get into that area.
Yeah, but did that stop anybody the last time?
That's
Based out
true.
of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, represents a
Security is great until it gets breached. All right.
Now wait, there was supposed to be Black Hawk helicopters involved here, and they said they're gonna have to fly at treetop level. That ought to be interesting.
Force. It is always combat ready, mentally and physically
Yeah.
tough, and prepared to fight our country.
Dude, look at the size of these guys. These guys, just send this battalion. Like you get just send these guys.
Angry as hell.
Yeah, just
That guy looks like he's already thinking about the sandbox.
that just like literally like. I would like to see like one of those protesters in LA, like with the man buns, walk up to that dude and be like try to get into his face and then start spitting at him. Like that would be like a very short experience for that man bun. It really would be.
It would be short for anybody's experience.
That would be-
It's the army.
Guy's built like a WWE wrestler.
He probably could be with that. I know your career after.
Yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter 2.
See, that's what I should. You know what? That's probably what I should have done when I was like 18, enlisted in the military, so I could actually get in shape instead of turning into what I turned into.
Wow, the way you say it sounds so sad.
an undergraduate student who drank too much. Gained to 15, freshman 15.
So in other words, a soldier.
Yeah.
Just not part of the army.
No, I had no discipline. I had no discipline. I needed discipline.
When you're in the sandbox, there's no such thing as discipline. There's just enemy.
I needed.
Kill.
That's the thing. I should have. I needed discipline. I should have enlisted.
The United States does not face the challenging
It is what it
international environment alone. Our network
No.
of allies and partners is an advantage that our
Who says you-
adversaries
who's stopping it?
can never hope to match.
Regulations.
80 nations have fought alongside
What about the
United
militaries
States
in the Middle
or
East,
assisted
buddy?
in
I ain't joining those people.
on terror.
What are they? I can't do the monkey bars.
They gotta do the monkey.
I can't do the monkey. You ever see
Gotta
that?
do the monkey
You ever see that Al Qaeda video?
Yeah,
They do the
so-
monkey bars.
I was like, I don't get that.
And then
what
they
does
do
that
the-
help you with?
Like I don't know.
Hey,
Like
boys, God, if there's a fight on the playground, we are owning this shit.
not even Joni Ernst. She's former military. Yeah, she's a senator, but she's also former military.
Former war crime expert.
She's she served. I forgot what she served. If she was medical unit or.
Glory began with its establishment.
You know what surprised me? I haven't seen Tulsi there. Director of National Tulsi Gabbard. She's still active duty, isn't she? Well, she had to give up her active, right? Because of her role. Okay. But she was a medical unit too, as well. She's like, I've seen stuff you can't even describe. Dude, look at the size of these guys. Look at this. Just
Growth hormones are.
Jesus, where are they feeding you in the army? Like, I gotta get on that diet.
Well, I need to get on that diet. God, imagine me that tall.
Dude,
Insane.
Literally, just beasts. They're all beasts. Thank God. Like, that's a good thing. What I'm saying is a good thing.
No, it's great.
Like,
No,
I'm not
it's solid.
complaining. Like, just, jeez.
Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring.
Big boys.
To show America's military might, they have
Yeah, you know, if I was in that parade, I would be making jokes with the buddies, being like, "Can't wait to go to the sandbox with these boys."
No.
They are the 10th
Dude,
Mountain
I don't think
Division.
Trump's gonna last. He's not. He'll give defensive help, but I think unless Iran really does,
no troops on the ground.
no troops on the ground. If Iran does do something to us, we'll drone them, we'll bomb them, we'll cruise missile. We got the USS Carl Vinson, a carrier attack group in the Gulf right now. Good luck.
You realize those carrier groups are bigger than most armies in the world?
Yeah.
Which is insane. That's
I mean,
how big of a military.
just pop off a few firecrackers, be like, okay.
Think about okay, if you're logistically gonna go against the United States, you got a military, but you know your military is squashed already by one carrier group in terms of just size alone.
This transformation is not
I like what Hegseth has done. He's sort of started to fund different, he realized asymmetrical warfare is what he's going to battle. You know, we're used to symmetrical warfare, army versus army, but now over the years it's what they call asymmetrical warfare, and that's what he's got to battle. That's what he's going to get the military ready for. I think that's what he's beginning to concentrate all the money on. So I think it's been a good thing.
No, I mean to be ready for all forms of war is what is the duty of any defense secretaries.
Yeah. But there wasn't no one was focusing on that during the Biden.
Yeah.
And so now I think that he's allocating that.
Well, he's now set the grounds for it, just for us in case there's for the future defense secretary to kind of just build upon.
Yeah. Whoever that may be.
Oh yeah, whoever that may be. From whatever point.
Oh boy, we got AC/DC coming up. We got
Copyright
Thunderstruck. I think that's what it is. I can't hear it too
the tanks are dipping. I'm just saying. Look at this image here, buddy. You're dipping a little down.
A little bit.
A little divot.
Yeah, dude, they're playing AC/DC. Yeah, we're gonna this thing. Watch the live stream just get cut because of the friggin' copyright. Secretary of the Army right there. Secretary SecDef rocking out to the AC/DC, baby. Look at these guys. Now it's a party. They're like, yep, play the. Yep.
Those helmets kind of look funny because they got the mic sets embedded in them.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it. I kind of dig it. I don't know why.
You know, there's 4 or 5 guys per tank, and there's one guy who's driving and like really focused and concentrated, like don't screw this up. The rest of the guys are just like, yeah, this is a party. Like that guy, the driver drew the short straw.
Pretty much. But those are pretty much your brothers in there, because that's your tank, that's your home.
That's your home.
Those are your boys.
They're playing Van Halen's Jump now.
Oh, I like the American Pocket Square he's got.
Yeah.
What was that? That's a what? 3, 4, 5-star general?
I don't think do they even do 5-star
No,
generals?
5 stars are only during times of war, but he's got like it looks like.
I thought it was 4. I
thought
could
it
be
was
wrong.
4,
We'll
but
wait for it.
maybe
to
it's
come
like
back.
another extra shine. The other
Yeah.
point. I could be kind of wrong. We count perfectly.
It's gonna be family members or something like that with special passes.
The car goes off a little. I'm not paying support no more.
Dude, what was it? It was someone on a Segway. It was someone on a Segway.
Damn straight. We need that for urban warfare. Don't you realize this?
Militarized
Special
urban
thanks to our
Segway.
sponsor, Palantir.
Ooh, Palantir. All your personal information sucked up by Palantir.
A lot of tanks. A lot of tanks.
A lot of tanks.
A lot of tanks. Very nice.
Dude, you know what? At least they're not doing like here's one of our cruise missiles. You know how like the Russians would do like the giant missiles?
Yeah, here's like the
But-
giant nuclear armament.
Yeah, like we're not doing that. Like that's a cool thing. Like we don't need to see that. Keep those in the
No,
silos.
I'd like to
with-
see a couple. Show me a couple.
Keep those in the silos where they belong.
I want to see like one of our spare ones. Like this is the one we dropped on Hiroshima. I'm joking. Just a big fat pan.
No. You know what's weird? I'm watching our live stream over here. YouTube is supposed to do this thing where it doesn't totally block you out. Like you see the live stream and then it goes silent, but the live stream stays and then the ad plays next to it.
Right.
And I opted in for that instead of being cut, and it's still not doing it. I'll have to look at those settings.
Might take time if it has.
Gold
like,
Star family. All right.
I forget what is the difference between Gold Star and Blue Star family?
I think Gold Stars you've lost your.
I thought Blue Star was you lost it because that's what they used to do in.
Look it up. You gotta look it up.
And maybe I'm misremembering.
This is why
I'm here.
That's why you're here.
Because you value my company, so I can look up shit. That's
Today, the U.S. Army's mission is to deploy, fight, and win our nation's wars.
Okay, here's
How?
United
By
Service
securing British
Station.
prompt and sustained land dominance by
the Blue Star
armed
Service
forces
banner.
across
Yeah,
the
it
Pacific
originated in
of the
1916
conflict as
when a
of
U.S.
the
Army
joint force.
who were serving on the front lines of war. Okay, for each active duty service.
So Blue Star is that you're serving.
You have somebody in your family.
Gold Star is that you've given your
I think
ultimate
Gold Star-
sacrifice.
Yeah, I think so. When they join the military, some military officials choose to display a Blue Star service banner. Yeah. That's what it is. Active duty, immediate family members from active duty. What is it? I guess maybe you read.
Keeping the Army forces battle ready and nimble makes transportation for the U.S. Army a very vital element. Spread across
Yep,
the
who died
parade
while
today,
serving the
numerous
U.S.
fighting
Armed
vehicles, some
Forces during
designed for
time
very
of
specific
conflict.
functions and others for
Look
flexibility.
at that freaking weapon.
but they all must
That
be
thing would take down a building.
With over 200,000 trucks.
You know what
alone,
could take down a
vehicle
city, though?
Mechanisms ensure that the
What?
fleet
My
of vehicles are ready.
favorite
These
ever
mechanics get the job
devised
done.
piece of artillery
This
in
convoy
the
starts
history of
with
the
the
world.
M777, a lightweight howitzer. These lightweight howitzers
If
may
ever.
not look particularly lightweight, but are made from titanium. They are 7,000 pounds lighter than their predecessor.
yeah, known as the
old
Kaiser
M198,
Wilhelm gun.
used by
Oh, that
Army
thing,
since
the giant gun?
2005. The
I don't know if it's the
M7 is
Kaiser
currently
Wilhelm
being
gun.
used in Ukraine.
That the Hitler tried to build, yeah.
No, no, this was World War I.
World War I.
Smaller. It is used by
It was so
infantry
big it
today,
needed its own railway.
particularly for air assault
Yeah,
missions.
love
It was first
big
used in
old
Operation
bombs and
Desert
carrots.
Shield and Desert
And it was
Shield in
accurate.
1991.
This thing's
Seeing
friggin'
active
massive,
use
though.
in
I mean,
Ukraine.
for what it is.
Oh no, absolutely. Unfortunately, all it took was some magnesium and a British paratrooper.
Good.
Goes through the whole middle. I mean, good, of course, but
All right,
also
what are their red patches?
The 7th Infantry Division stationed at Joint Base
7th Infantry
Lewis
Division.
McChord has been seeing continuous combat action ever since activation in World War I. From Europe to the Aleutian Islands, Japan, Korea, Afghanistan, and the Pacific, the Bayonet Division boasts
Bayonet
a proud
Division.
history of answering the call of its motto, "Trust in Me," with resolute dedication. Sent to deployments and conflicts around the globe
The
since it was
Gustav, that's what I'm
founded,
thinking of.
the division
Different.
returned to Fort Lewis in 1971,
This
its first
thing.
time on American soil
This was the
since
World War II.
1934. The 7th Division,
Oof.
originally called the Hourglass Division,
That
with
was-
a hatch design.
You gotta
gained the
think, you gotta
nickname
give credit to the
Bayonet
engineer who
Division,
thought,
Bayonet
all right,
Division
I gotta make
deployments
this
to
thing.
Korea in June of 1950.
All right, so this thing's been going on
But
since
John
4.
Lennon, during the liberation
They started
zone,
around
they
4.
credited
Let's
with
say 4:10,
plunging the
right?
bayonet
It's
into the heart of the
5:18.
enemy.
Been going on for an hour.
About an hour. So it's supposed to only go for about an hour and a half. But he's got to talk. Trump's going to talk.
This is gonna take another 30 minutes.
Oh, he's going to go, dude. He can do an hour and a
I know
half.
he can do an hour and a half.
Aviation Brigade.
This is how he feels.
I feel quite pissed off today about these protests. Oh god.
Well, you know he's going to say something.
Oh, of course. I mean, would you expect?
I love what he said when someone asked him the other day about the No Kings protest, and he goes, I don't feel like a king. I got to go through so much crap just to get something done. If I was the king, it would just get done.
We are
This is true.
continuously transforming.
is
Army
true.
careers span the spectrum.
Damn it, if we were just a
of
dictator- no, I'm joking.
engineers. The Army's greatest asset is our people. The finest men and women our great nation has to offer, with a myriad of talents that make us stronger. Aside from its people, the Army's next greatest
Oh, yes, the
asset
inverted
is its
colors.
technology and equipment.
The inverted colors
Coming
of
up
the,
next,
What the hell was
we'll
that?
offer a
I think it
glimpse
was
of
having
what
a
the
problem
Army
with the
is
colors.
Oh, okay.
doing
This is
in
the,
greatness
SD
and
card.
battle. The portable howitzer.
That wasn't that was their camera.
Abrams
Okay.
tank.
Not your computer.
Not my computer. I thought my computer was.
Along with Bradley tanks and the infantry
Reach the
squad
end,
vehicles.
boys.
The ISB provides enhanced tactical mobility of an infantry brigade combat team. This allows commanders greater freedom of movement and action. The ISB provides the warfighter with increased flexibility to ensure infantry units maintain
He's like,
momentum
please don't go to
achieve
the
mission
sandbox.
success.
The way just saluting. I wonder if that actually showed up on the. Yeah, it did show up.
I mean,
Thermal didn't.
It
thermal
looked cool.
Vision. It's thermal vision. No, I'm joking.
it looked cool.
It did look cool.
Like I said, this parade cost between $25 and $45 million.
What do you think about it?
I
It's
mean,
their birthday.
it's their birthday. It's cool. It's like 250 years.
I think you deserve a parade.
You deserve a parade, yeah. It's just a shame that people can't put aside their friggin' differences to celebrate the one thing that keeps everybody safe. See, look, these things are so empty. The stands are so empty. They're playing Enter Sandman now.
Enter the sandbox? Question mark?
Stop saying sandbox.
It's the sandbox. We're going in the sandbox. I'm just. Listen, the writing's on the wall. You see it. I see it.
Don't go. He's not sending. He will not send troops there. I'm telling you right now. He always said no new wars, no new wars, no new wars.
Yeah, but when somebody starts a war with you, it's not like you'd be like, ah, no more.
Doesn't mean you got to send troops.
Maybe. You just pay the other countries. Hey, can
No,
you just
it's just
put
you
your
use
guys-
superior weaponry. Superior weaponry. That's all it is. Drones and everything. Big bombs. That's all.
Lots of bombs. Turns out if you just take a plane and just drop everything you've got.
But you know what I noticed is they're playing the music, but they must not have had the rights to play the actual music, so they're playing versions of it that another band did.
Maybe probably because I don't think Metallica would allow.
Yeah, I don't.
They don't
think-
like Trump at all. San Francisco band.
Yeah.
They're an awesome band though. I love them.
Yeah, I was listening to them the other night.
When duty calls, U.S. Army soldiers don't just answer, they lead. From Fort Bragg, witness a powerful demonstration of strength, purpose, and the unmatched capability of today's Army.
All right, what are we gonna see?
People Oh, that's it. I think that's it, boys.
No.
The parade.
Oh.
The Army has
No,
made
it's
me
just an
see
ad.
my potential, and I feel like it's
Actually, I
made
can't
me
tell if it's an ad
into
'cause
a
I can't
better
hear.
person.
I grew up in a very patriotic household. My grandfather, he served in World War II, and his brother, my uncle, served in Vietnam. I can do this. If they can do this, I can do this.
When I was born, my dad was still serving in the military, and him coming home in his uniform, I'm like, yeah, I want to do that.
Ready for takeoff. My motivation, I think it follows in line, I think, with what my family's done is kind of a sense of duty to serve our country and give back since it's given us so much.
I'm a very, let's say, timid person, but definitely helped me become a more confident person.
Working with a group and my peers, it really shows how much
It was a terrible
working
joke.
with a team can strengthen you.
All right, ready to go? Ready to go? I derive a lot of purpose from serving others. I think serving something bigger than myself.
It's a recruitment video. Is basically what it is.
Pretty much. You need papers.
Dude, there are dreamers that serve in the army.
Yeah. That's my point
I
exactly.
definitely pushed myself further than I ever thought I could go.
I bet if you were someone who wasn't a citizen and you wanted to join, and
Joined,
I'm sure they
military
can make
service. I
an
want to
exception
deploy.
or
That's
give
my
you
main goal is deploy.
citizenship. Oh, hey, doggy. Hi, doggy.
If
He
we
just
get the
wants
call,
to play.
we have to go somewhere,
That seems
we'll do
awfully
something.
close to
That's just the
something
way
we
it
don't
goes.
allow. You gotta cover it all. Like, no, I gotta leave a little part. Can't risk it.
Hi, Marine One.
This is one of the few jobs in the nation where we all take an oath to say, I'm willing to put my life on the line for you, and they're willing to put their life on the line for me.
Like, we got this bomb, Mr.
Train
President.
for it. This is what I want to do. My team leaders and squad leaders, they know exactly what to do. Check equipment, check weapons, check ammo.
We're always ready to deploy within 18 hours and handle the mission at task.
Dear God. Although Trump probably does want a couple of reasons to let off a couple of those puppies.
Probably.
Drones.
Those are bombs, Mr. President. They're
Those are rockets. They blow everything up.
We
They
jump
don't
so
miss.
frequently so that our jump masters and the paratroopers are ready to
Oh, they gotta jump.
Was that an AC-130?
Yeah,
or was that
they
a,
gotta-
no, it wasn't AC.
I'm
They gotta-
very passionate about being a jump master.
Probably my new favorite.
Jump master. That's his job. I'm a jump master.
I love to instill that confidence
Remember
and
to
passion
pull your parachute.
into those paratroopers. It's a rush.
Don't forget.
Dude, that's nuts. I mean, it looks like fun. Your mother would never allow me to actually go parachuting,
I kind of want it.
skydiving.
I think it would be fun to do at least once.
Yeah.
This week we honor 250 years of valor and glory and triumph by the greatest fighting force ever to walk the face of the earth, the United States Army.
That's a cool hat.
This is actually a nice hat.
For 2.5
Except with the
centuries,
company
our
logo on it.
soldiers have marched into the
Company
raging
meaning the
fires of
division.
battle
Looks
and
like.
obliterated America's enemies.
I love the Army. It is a great place to set yourself up for success, to prepare yourself for the future.
God bless you, God bless our soldiers, and God bless the U.S. Army.
Oh, there you go, Medal of Honor recipient. You know, fun fact about the things you get with the Medal of Honor?
What do you get?
You get a custom license plate.
Okay.
Anybody in the armed forces, no matter their rank, so even if it was a general 4-star rank, is expected to salute you first.
Oh, wow. Well, how do they know if you're not always wearing it?
There's not many Medal of Honor recipients.
Any adversary in extreme
So they have to memorize their faces?
I'm pretty sure they know them. They recognize them for the most part. You don't run into them that often.
Okay.
Arctic Division.
Also, it's not like you're gonna run into the 4-star general.
The Arctic Division.
Oh, future war! It's the sandbox, but it's no longer. It's the snowbox. Yes, it's the snow globe. That's what we called it.
and
Our new war, the snow globe, yay! Frosty the Snowman had an M16 in hand.
Inactive and stationed in Germany from 1963
No,
to
no,
65.
no.
The
No.
division operated
No,
as the
no.
Air Assault Division, with
No,
mission
no,
still
no.
defining the Army's
No, no.
helicopter-centric air mobility doctrine. Activated once again in June of 2022, they remain
You like
dedicated
my
to
snow globes?
defending
No.
America's interests
No,
throughout the
that's
You
not
said
United
Arctic
States,
Force. What do we have an
Alaska,
Arctic
and
Force? Are
beyond.
you going in the
The
Arctic?
11th Airborne
In case we need
Division,
to.
America's Arctic Angels.
Arctic Angels.
Wow, this patch by the developers, this update.
Requiring ongoing
wait.
maintenance in the field and on base because
They're playing Guns N' Roses now.
Of course, they all here so
Vehicle
copyrighted.
mechanics supervise and
But I mean, there's a ton more coming.
It feels like we ain't close to being over.
I mean, we're an hour and a half in, right?
Yeah.
Included in the array
Yeah.
of mobile artillery such as Paladins and
Well,
the
it started like
Tank
an
is
hour-
the
yeah, hour and a half
joint-like
pretty much.
tactical vehicle
Yeah.
known as the JLTV. It's highly
Also, I'm
adaptable,
sorry.
providing
Listen, I gotta say,
protected and
this new
sustained
patch and
ability
update by the
personnel
developers of War
The JLTV
really
is
surprised me.
focused
I
on
thought we were
capability
returning
while
back to the
providing
good old
armor
trustworthy
against
sandbox.
all
Instead,
arms,
they
improvised
decided to create
explosive
something new for us to play in, called the Snow
JLTV
Globe,
right
aka
there.
the Arctic. Can't wait to investigate how well a tank can handle the sheets of ice.
Well, I'm sure they have vehicles that can go over ice and snow.
Yeah, you're in the Arctic division. You're about to freeze your ass.
Yeah, they gotta have different. I'm sure there's vehicles that are. I'm sure they're.
Guys, the ice thing's a little thin. There goes the tank.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to have 10 minutes of conversation. He's going to... All right, who are these guys?
The U.S. Army Reserve is inseparably linked to America's long-standing citizen soldier tradition.
It's U.S. Army Reserve.
Organizationally, the reserve groups lie in the Medical Reserve Corps, established
It's the Medical Reserve Corps.
provide a ready reserve of medical manpower. This organization was folded into the new offices of the Officers Reserve Corps in 1917. Reserve organizations furnished crucial manpower to the Army during World War I and were merged into 1920 into the Organization of Organized Reserve. During World War
I'm wondering
II,
who chose the music.
26 organized reserve infantry divisions.
Like all this rock and roll
The
music,
Army's
right?
Officer Corps came from the reserves during the conflict.
You think so?
During the Korean War,
You think
the
so?
Organized Reserve
Definitely.
Corps was reorganized and redesignated the U.S. Army Reserve. The Army Reserve has since served as a vital source of manpower for the force during times of need. Gradually,
Like I said, it's not the actual recordings. It's like covers. Yeah,
very
because obviously I don't think they had the right to do it.
170,000 Army Reserve soldiers and 11,000 civilians serving their home.
Dude,
communities and
these tanks are still coming.
I know, that's why I keep saying it. It's like this is
The Army can't
this is
deploy,
a
can't fight, or
long
win
parade.
without the Army
Oh,
Reserve.
I might see the end.
At the end, yeah. Let's say maybe
Of
I'd
Army
see the
readiness.
tank.
Let's have a big hand for the Army Reserve.
And they're playing more Van Halen right here, right now is what they're playing.
Today and tomorrow's Army looks to increase
right.
safety and survivability, create efficiency, and streamline processes. The Stryker is a great example of assessing evolving needs and developing the solution.
I don't know. I can't tell you. There's so much fog. I don't know if it is the end. No, look, there's more.
There's way more.
Teams.
Dude, what is that thing in front of him? Is that a camera? Is that
It's a
this
Segway.
thing? It looks like a Segway.
No, yeah, it's a camera. It's a robotic camera.
It's a robotic
Get up close-
camera.
Get up close to them.
Okay.
God forbid you're a cameraman, you trip. You gotta stop the
It's
parade.
true. Yeah.
Or because they have orders not to stop.
Whatever you do, don't stop. I don't think they could. That thing doesn't stop on a dime.
Yeah, probably not. No, this is way more stuff. Oh my god, you look. This frame. There's still, you can see in the fog of war.
Yeah, Jesus. Coming out of the fog. Although that was a cool visual of the band at the beginning marching out of the fog.
Yeah.
That was a cool visual.
We've been here almost. We're pushing 2. Almost 2.
Now, wait a minute. When's the birthday of the Navy? When's the birthday of the Marines? When's the birthday of the Air Force? Is Trump going to do this for all the branches?
More than likely, I imagine.
Like, imagine a naval one where we're on the coast somewhere down like Florida or Honolulu.
Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor would be a perfect place to
You
do
take the
that.
Japanese diplomat with you. Remember what you did. Let's see. Let me look this up. Army's June 14th. The Marine Corps, November 10th. The Coast Guard, August 4th. The Air Force, well, why is it giving me the Navy?
Well, wait a minute. The Navy is
13th.
But it's this year. Is he going to do one for the Navy this year?
Yeah, it'd be this year, so probably. Well, also, the Marines are this year, too. Did you know the Marines are not going to allow the Army to get a parade and then not have one?
I don't know, but the Navy one, that would be pretty cool. Oh, come down in San Diego?
Yeah.
That would be cool. You get the SEALs, you get the...
Everything.
You get a couple of subs that come up.
No, you have the SEALs come out the water. It's just creepy as hell. All black. Guy doesn't seem happy to be there.
Well, it's kind of warm there. They're in suits. I don't know if they got air conditioning.
Hey, I was in the desert, alright?
That's true.
Of Egypt, alright? I had to walk. I don't want to hear them complain. They're at least sitting.
They are playing my favorite Sammy Hagar Van Halen
When
song.
Americans hear the name Bastogne, they remember
Fair.
one of World War II's most heroic defenses, the Battle of the Bulge.
Battle of the Bulge we're
Surrounded
talking
by
about
German
now.
forces in the frozen forest of Belgium in December 1944, soldiers of the 101st Airborne held the line.
What about the Space Force when it turns 10 years old in like 5 years?
That's true.
Hold on, I'm trying to see here.
Oh, we got Journey playing. That's definitely recognizable. Journey.
I don't know if they're gonna have more parades
No, I don't think so.
this year. I wouldn't be surprised if military.
Those guys look ready to rock.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they look.
They look like they're there for something else.
I don't know if they showed up for a parade.
Like, that's just a scary sight. Like, I'm happy that they're on our side, don't get me wrong. Oh, wait, we got crews going across. We got a big gap in the parade. Wow, these guys look ready to rock and roll right now.
There's military.
The unit before you is a platoon from the multi-purpose company.
Multi-purpose company.
27th
Is that what they just said?
1st
Yeah.
Mobile Brigade, 101st Airborne Division, Bastogne.
Yeah, I can tell. Dude, that is
Showcasing
scary
the
stuff.
Army's
With the silence.
Transformation in Contact Initiative.
They're the
A
global.
program
Their
that
global
allows the Army to
readiness.
rapidly test, evaluate,
Yeah, it looks like it.
equip our
Yeah,
soldiers
Jesus.
with
Even
the
now.
newest technologies. Modern, mobile, and mission-ready, the Bastogne Brigade continues to adapt to new threats while staying rooted in the.
That's the we're gonna
values
F you up
that
brigade.
defined its birth. They are carrying the next
That's
generation
we see you
squad
before you
weapons,
see
the
us.
XM7
That's like, you don't
and
see us.
XM157,
You don't see us, but
both
we
equipped
see
with
you.
the XM157 optic. The vehicles are the infantry squad vehicle, a new mobility asset that can rapidly move through most terrain types. The trailer is the S-MET, and it's capable of carrying heavy loads under its own power through restrictive terrain. This platoon is
Those are
equipped with
rapid
3
response
types of
vehicles.
Small unmanned aerial systems. that
Light
are the
armored
Ghost
rapid
X
response
located on the S-MET.
And that's a
The
DJI
CH-100,
drone.
and right above us
Probably
there,
has a bomb.
the X-10D, which are
Probably
flying
does.
above the formation
It's
right
a-
now.
Oh no, that's their drone. That's their drone. Like, that's their.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It probably has a bomb in it.
It's for reconnaissance and stuff. That's crazy.
Damn.
Dude, imagine the cameras in that thing.
Oh man, talk about recording with that. Can I steal that?
It's going over the president. The president's like, I'm not too comfortable with that.
I don't really like that one.
He runs out of battery, drops on somebody in the crowd. Oh, he grabbed it. Look. Guys, he's got it. Got it in his hand. I got my drone.
Caught it.
I got my drone.
Got my drone.
Dude, I always said to myself, I want a drone, but then I think to myself, would I really use it that often?
I would want to use it.
Yeah, but really, would I use it a lot?
Would you use it a lot? I don't know, but I would.
I don't know what I would go and film. The same open field?
No, you go explore other places with it. Like on the coast, it's got to be beautiful. That.
But like down, okay, so we go to downtown, right? Would you be able to just throw it up there?
Probably. Also, I wouldn't do downtown because it's like, oh, I see roofs of buildings.
Like to do the cathedral and stuff.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you might have to ask.
There's got to be some sort of app that tells you when you can. All right, now I hear a lot of crowd noise. It sounds like there's a hell of a lot more people.
The Bradley fighting vehicle has proved itself to be lethal
Here's
and
the Bradley.
survivable in multiple theaters since it first fielded back in the 1980s.
Good old
Designed
Bradley.
as a troop transport tank killer and to match speed with an Abrams tank, the Bradley is a fierce fighting machine. The Bradley accompanies American troops often with the M1A1 Abrams tank, nicknamed the Beast, and whispers.
Yeah, we still have the
because
Abrams
of
to
its
go.
firepower,
They just
accuracy
kind of
while
teased the
moving, and
Abrams.
its stealth. Together, they offer mobility and firepower, a fearsome combination.
So we've seen everything but the Abrams tank so far, right?
Yeah, it's handled. I think we've seen a Shermans, we saw the other tanks, the precursors to the Abrams.
This is the second gen Bradley.
That looks like an Abrams.
What is that thing?
I think it's the first Abrams. You know what I mean? One right before the M2 ones.
That thing looks like a transformer.
That one is definitely.
Literally, that thing looks like Megatron from the Transformers
Which
movie.
I love.
Yeah.
Big fan. Very big fan.
What do you drive to work? Toyota Corolla? What do you drive? Friggin' Abrams tank.
M2 Abrams.
What are they going to play next?
Not really sure.
Well, this is a song I don't recognize. Got a good opening.
Are they Abrams? Did they send out?
They haven't said Abrams yet. But I gotta assume that's what it is.
Might be M1s.
Could be.
Or M2s. As I say, they look a little, I'm not saying smaller than I imagined, but wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I hear your mother out in the kitchen right now, just stirring something in the pot. Something steaming out there. She's cooking.
Yeah, she's making a soup, I think.
Oh, she's making soup?
I think so.
I like soup.
We've seen this guy before.
Secretary of the Army. See him again. He's Secretary of the Army.
Wait, he's also Chief of Staff, but he's also...
No. There's a Chief of Staff and then there's the Secretary of the Army.
I know, but they showed him twice. They showed him Chief of Staff. Remember? He was next to Vance through that first one.
Yeah.
That's the same guy.
They might have gotten it wrong because you're either a chief of staff or you're Secretary of the Army.
They might have been trying to pantser the guy behind.
I don't think you can be both.
Man's pulling overtime like crazy.
Can't be Marco Rubio. You got 6 different jobs right now. Trying to hold the world together with duct tape and glue.
Yeah. It's not even the good brand of duct tape. It's that like cheap.
Yeah.
Store brand.
I bet Rubio's just glad to be sitting. Oh, dude, look at these things coming
There's
in.
also Blackhawks.
Look at these things coming in. This just says flying death.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Are those Blackhawks? I can't tell from that picture. Remember when you were up close to a Blackhawk? You're up close to a Blackhawk. There was we went to an air show.
The AH-64
Oh,
Apache.
yeah,
It's
I
the
remember
premier
that.
attack
I
helicopter
think it
in
was
the
raining
world.
that day.
It is.
The Apache
Like
entered
crazy. I
service in
forgot
the
what state.
mid-1980s
The
and
Apache.
continues to evolve and modify
The
to meet
Apaches. Ooh, those are
worldwide
nice.
threats.
Talk about
It can
reliable.
deliver intense fire on the battlefield with an array of aerial rockets, guided Hellfire missiles, along with 30-millimeter cannon fire.
Who decided to
The
name them
aircraft
Hellfire
you see here
missiles?
is configured with a sophisticated targeting radar system and can operate in poor visibility and in the black of night. With more than 1,280 aircraft in operation, accumulating over 5 million.
Those things are
horsepower.
impressive. I mean, that's an
1.3
impressive
million of
helicopter.
which have
I
been
don't know.
Oh, no, like I
combat.
said, they're a
The
mainstay.
AH-64 Apache
But those
represents
aren't
the
Apaches.
backbone
Those are
of
the,
U.S. Army's attack
that's like a
helicopter
Blackhawk,
fleet.
no?
And
No, those are- they're calling them
international
Apaches.
defense forces.
They're Apaches.
And maybe I'm used to it being seated from a different angle. Which wouldn't surprise me. Don't hit the monument, boys. Don't touch the monument. That's a
Oh, they're
weird
playing
angle.
Billy Idol right now.
Special
Rebel.
thanks to
Rebel
our
Yell.
sponsor, Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin.
Martin.
Again. Once again, our sponsor, Lockheed Martin. U.S. Army, brought to you by Lockheed Martin. What the frig?
Bomb dogs. Blow up. Blow
The
up.
future. I told you there'd be trailers.
To the future
I
of
told you.
Army readiness.
No go. Future. You doubted
The Army
in my
Research
prediction.
Laboratory
Look at that
robot
thing.
dogs reflect the latest in Army innovation.
I have concerns
Look at
about
this.
the ethical-
Much like a true canine, these robots can go where soldiers cannot. They have increased
use the
mobility,
these.
improved tactical awareness,
See about
reduced risk
50 of these
soldiers,
coming over
and
the mountain at
advanced
you.
teamwork.
What is that it's holding on top? Is that like an
Robot
extended
dogs
camera or
will
claw?
Could be a
explore.
camera, a clock,
It may be difficult
flamethrower
for
for all I know.
soldiers to
Jesus.
dispose of
Got propane,
explosive
boys.
ordnance that act in defense
That doesn't
of
look like
hostile
it's meant to
or aggressive
survive.
capacity when on.
I
It
know.
looks like it's meant to go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Had a little
In the rain.
little spasm there.
Come on.
I have a friend.
I have a friend. Oh, it's our doggy. Hi, doggy. We're watching
Yeah.
Mechanical Doggies. What's his problem?
He's just looking at the wall.
Oh, dude, here come the carrier helicopters. Oh, more doggies.
More robots.
More robots.
Yay.
The Ghost Robot Dog is another innovation that can adapt seamlessly for various missions from recon to bomb recognition. These dogs reduce risk and support soldiers completely in high-stakes missions. They have a standard walk speed of 2 miles per hour.
I mean, there's probably way more advanced
7 miles per
robotics
hour
out there. Granted, somebody's probably looking at that going, it's like 3 generations behind. Still, it's cool that we got them for the the soldiers. So it'd be like, you let that thing go find the bomb. You know what I mean?
that's way better. Well, we probably have more.
Yeah.
Ooh, I forgot what to call those, but I love those things.
That's a sleek looking tank. It's got a chain coming off of it. I wonder what it's dragging. If anything.
I don't know what it is. I forget what are those called. I love those things.
I forgot what those
I
helicopters
call them
are.
choppers, but they're not choppers. Everything's a chopper.
There's a lot of them.
See if I can Google can help me.
Google can always help you. This part of the U.S. Oh.
The Chinook. That's what it is. The Chinook. Love Chinook.
Oh wait, this might be the end.
West Point. This
The West
is
Point
the United
Cadets.
States Military Academy Band,
Future of
ladies
the
and
Army.
gentlemen.
Oh, that's why it's called the Future. That's nice. The
West Point Band traces its history to a single drummer and fifer appointed by George Washington during the American Revolution. Over the next 2 centuries, this band evolved into one of the most capable and versatile performing groups in the world.
The cadets.
One of the most prestigious institutions in the world where leadership is forged and duty becomes destiny. This is West Point, where Army leaders are made. With
I'm
the motto
surprised the
"Duty,
Secretary of
honor, and
Defense
country,"
doesn't
West
stand
Point
when the
trains
president
the best
stands.
and brightest to serve their
I think
country
it's because
as Army
it's
officers.
kind of a way to be like,
Founded
hey,
back in
it's not just
1802 by President
it's
Thomas
the
Jefferson,
president's
West
saluting you,
Point
not just
is the
also
home of the long
Back
gray
defense.
line,
I guess.
a legacy
I
of
don't know.
courage and excellence that includes 77 Medal
You
of
know what I
Honor
mean?
recipients,
Yeah. You get the
2
different
U.S.
things, I
presidents,
guess.
Grant and Eisenhower, and numerous generals, including John J. Pershing, Douglas MacArthur, and Norman Schwarzkopf.
Oh, I forgot about Norman. Stormin' Norman. Stormin' Norman Schwarzkopf.
Norman?
Stormin', the guy who led the first Gulf War. The general in charge of everything for the first Gulf War. He's like, yeah, we're going to go
Upon
F
entering
them up.
The United States Army
And he did.
undergo initial entry training,
And
a
about
highly
par with the
intense and
course.
challenging training period aimed at developing a soldier's physical and mental toughness, instill discipline, train them in essential combat skills, and foster teamwork. IET transforms civilians into soldiers based on the 7 core Army values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage.
Well, they got a lot coming.
Oh, wow. A lot of cadets.
A lot of cadets.
Too many cadets. Not joking.
Let's see. We got the family Trump back there. The Virginia Military Institute.
Institute, on a mission to produce citizen soldiers, men and women educated for civilian life, prepared to
You gotta
serve
feel pretty
their
bad if
country
that's what you
in
get
the armed
forced
forces.
away.
Yeah.
VMI
Like, oh, these
counts
guys
a
get the
Nobel
fun suits.
Prize winner, 11
They
Rhodes
get the nice
Scholars,
whites.
generals,
Here's
7 Medal of Honor
a
recipients,
button-up
and
short
a
sleeve
Pulitzer
shirt
Prize winner among its
and a little
graduates.
hat.
As one of the nation's senior military colleges,
it's easy to
students at
change
Virginia
out.
Military Institute
But
can
I'd rather
participate
have the
in
coat.
Army
I
ROTC
wanna
or
keep
the
it.
Corps of
Yeah.
Cadets. While cadets in the Corps
Maybe
can
also
serve
the
in
hat.
any branch of the United States military or pursue other careers, those in Army ROTC earn their commission as officers, ready to serve on
I
active
imagine this
duty
is
in the National
the last
Guard
bit
or
of the
Army
parade, you
Reserve.
know, the cadets.
Each year, the Army Senior ROTC
Every time I think it's probably wrapping up, I mean,
132nd lieutenants,
predictions,
ensuring that excellence in leadership continues.
I mean, again, Trump still has to talk. He's 2 hours in.
The Citadel, the military
The
college of
Citadel.
South Carolina, offers students the opportunity to participate in Army ROTC or the Historic Corps of Cadets. Founded in 1842, the Citadel is the third oldest of the senior military colleges and is known for its Corps of Cadets living and studying
You
under
mean
a
the
classical
Citadel? That's what
military
they're called?
system that makes leadership
That's the name of
and
the
character
college.
development essential.
Oh, damn.
While military
That's a
service
cool
is
name.
not required at graduation, more than 120 students earn their commission each year through the Army Senior ROTC Palmetto Battalion, playing a vital role in shaping the future. As one of the nation's senior military colleges, Texas A&M University
Texas A&M.
is home to both Army ROTC and the renowned Corps of Cadets. The Corps of Cadets' central purposes has remained building individuals that exemplify respect, excellence, leadership, loyalty, integrity, and selfless service. Students at the university who participate in the Army ROTC earn their commission as officers ready to serve on active duty in the National Guard or Army Reserve. Each year, the Army Senior ROTC Warrior Training Battalion at Texas A&M proudly commissions more than 90 second lieutenants and is honored
And
to
we
see
gotta
the
go back
future
and show you
leaders
the
of
Abrams
U.S.
again.
Army.
Circling around the bend.
Dude, I didn't expect it to be this long.
No, I didn't think it'd be this long either. I mean, it's impressive, to be fair.
It is impressive. It really is. It's just I didn't expect it to be this long. Is that it?
I think so.
All right. What's everybody in black? What are we doing? Is
In a
this
powerful
Funeral.
display of
No, I'm
commitment,
joking.
these future soldiers will
Future
raise
soldiers.
their right hand.
Oh, they're going to do
Take an oath of
initiation.
enlistment, pledging
So
to serve
these
our
all
nation.
these people are going to
This
re-enlist,
joint formation is
and then the people
proudly
behind
led
them
by
in
the
black
Joint Task
are
Force,
enlisting for the
National
first time. So they're going to take their
and the
enlistment,
military
and the
districts
next
of
day they're going to be in
Washington
basic.
team.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you know, the Army, be all you can be, buddy.
I'd rather go Air Force. I'm just saying, it's a little safer.
Shaping tomorrow's
At least
Army,
after the Air
West
Force, you
Point's
know,
most
I can maybe go
inspiring
fly
cadets
planes, fly.
Remind us that America's future is courageous
Fly a helicopter.
and in capable hands.
Then I get shot at.
I think anywhere you get shot at.
True, true,
Oh,
true.
wait, we got
Feels a
it.
little
my
more
country
focused.
knows that I'm doing
You know
it
what I
on
mean?
behalf of myself.
Look at that
Every day
West
on the
Point,
uniform,
Jesus.
I'm not just representing Caroline Robinson.
You're
I'm
already
representing
you're at West
my
Point. You're
company,
already a
West
second
Army.
lieutenant.
I'm representing West
Pretty
Point.
much.
I'm representing the United States Army.
That's so cool.
Ultimately, I'm representing the United States of America.
I really came to West Point because belief in the American dream and giving back to our country.
You're a part of something that is much bigger than yourself. You're a part of a tradition of excellence and a legacy that's connected not only to the Academy, but to the American Army.
I'm surrounded by people who want to make themselves better and serve our country.
Excellence is their baseline, and that to me is what it means to be a West Point cadet.
From the earliest days of our nation, this supreme tradition of American military service has been passed down from soldier to soldier and generation to generation, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
This
My
is
brother
huge.
preceded me here, and originally I didn't really know what West Point was until
The
he
biggest.
came. But when I saw the mission that they were committed to, of upholding the
I can't
principles
hear
of
what he's
American
saying, so I
democracy
just
and protecting
make
the
up the words,
Constitution,
and that's
I
all
knew
that
somewhere
came
I had
out.
to be.
Every time
I said, wow, what a big military.
I always developed
What a big cadet force.
gratitude and pride of being an American, and I wanted to give
Sam
back
Houston.
to
Samuel
my
Houston.
country what
Yeah,
it
that guy's from
And
Texas.
it wasn't
for
until
sure. For
I
sure.
zipped up the blouse and I
For
put
sure.
the belt on for the first time that I realized that I was going to be serving my country, and it felt right. West Point was the place that I needed to be, and more importantly, the Army was where I wanted to be.
I just looked to the left and right over basic training and realized that we all had the same American patch on our shoulders, that we're all fighting for the same thing. I mean, there was no better feeling in the world knowing that every single person around you is committed and willing to die for that mission.
You came for excellence, you came for duty, you came to serve your country, and you came to show yourselves.
I have a question. When you graduate West Point, do you have to go through basic?
Strongest, most
Or did you already go through
You know,
basic?
you already gone through basic through West Point.
I was just saying.
What excites me the most about my future in the Army is the opportunity that I'm going to have to give back to the American soldiers that I'm going to be leading.
Because ultimately, they don't get to choose. And to me, it's that burden of responsibility to be the best leader.
And as a young officer, that's going to be exactly what I get to do.
I was the cadet basic training first detail for the first 3 weeks. And I got to see the new cadets come in from their families' homes and being in process on their very first day and watching them grow so quickly.
I would do all the formations, and I looked out at these 1,000 new cadets, people who just come out of high school. They were completely different people.
I don't think there's another institution in the country like West Point where the student body is so committed to furthering the mission of America and ensuring our democracy and
We're still
freedom
talking
for
about West Point.
generations to come.
Now, I had a couple buddies.
Really
I remember
surrounded by
one
the
kid,
best of the best. And that's when I
scrawny
realized
little
this is a
kid,
place that I absolutely
went to
want
West
be.
Point.
West Point itself
He was
is an amazing institution.
son of immigrants from
It
Singapore.
only provides opportunities. that
And,
people get
I
to
mean,
choose to take those opportunities.
He was a
grow and
broomstick.
Right.
And when I saw him the next year
And I'm proud to be a part
at
of
our
that.
high school,
I would tell any
sort of
high
like
schooler
football
who's
game on
considering
Thanksgiving, and his cadet,
You won't regret
his whole uniform, everything, he looked like just a beast. Like he had no muscle. And then all of a sudden he's got like biceps size of boulders. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Left. Pace.
Yeah, so they're gonna do their
Mr. President.
So they're
First
taking
Sergeant
their,
Norton,
they're
reporting
getting
for duty,
relisted.
sir. Ready to commence the ceremony as directed.
I state your name.
I
Do solemnly swear
That's pretty cool to get
that I
relisted
will
to be a
support
president.
and defend
Mm-hmm.
the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
moving. Moving?
and
It's
that
moving.
I will
It's
obey
moving.
the
I hear it.
orders
I hear them do this.
of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations, congratulations. Welcome to the United States Army and have a great life. Thank you very much. Have a great life. Thank you.
Hard.
Ranger School is the best life insurance policy
They were enlisted
for our
prior.
Army. It will
The ones in
always
uniform were enlisted
stand
prior. They're re-enlisting. Some of them are planning on staying in for life.
We need young
Pretty much.
leaders to be able
They build a
to
career
close
with
with
it.
and
Yeah.
destroy the enemy and defend our nation's interests forward.
Surrender is not a Ranger word. It's not an option. I know that
And
I'm not
these
going to
are
be able to
those.
get to do this
No,
again.
these are
This is
range.
my
Yeah,
chance.
they, yeah.
Rated.
And some of them are rangers. One of them said, "Surrender's not a ranger word.
It all
It's just
starts
not an option."
At the
Yeah, that's how it is.
Ranger School.
They don't train to lose.
Where these elite warriors are
Being a
forged.
ranger.
It has been described as the longest approved gut check in the Army.
Very, very different.
Over 62 days, students will patrol hundreds of miles over mountains and through swamps under the crushing weight of their equipment. All the while, they are deprived of both food and sleep, forced to perform at the very edge of their physical limits. But it's not just the physical challenges that make Ranger School so intense. The mental strain will break these soldiers down to their core.
If I have a come to God moment, I have to take my PC off my patrol cap. And on the inside of that, my commander gave me a Ranger tab, the
Any
yellow and
predictions
black
for what
one
you
that
think
get
Trump's
during
going to talk
graduation.
about?
And I pinned it to the inside of my
Woke,
PC.
DEI,
Ranger
military.
school is not for the faint of heart, but
He'll
for those who
talk
are up
about
to the challenge,
that stuff.
it is the
He'll talk
ultimate
about
proving ground.
Iran.
We
He'll
already didn't
talk
have enough
about
beds for the people in our company.
the riots.
And our eyes reminded us that we don't have enough beds because there's not going to be this many people by tomorrow. Just a slight reminder of that. There's too many of you anyways, and not all of you are going to pass.
Rangers, if you don't figure it out, you're about to get another casualty.
It's completely different than what people would think Ranger School is like, but you can't put that into words, so it's hard to tell somebody something that you have to experience for yourself.
They got a saying, it's called as the tab turns. So Ranger School is continuing to change and to develop, but at the end of the day, it is the same, right? They're always going to put you in scenarios that is going to test like, your ability to actually make decisions on the ground.
As you go through Ranger School, it is a gut check. It's going to check you out. And what's going to get you through it is whether you have it or not. Thousands and thousands of soldiers train all their lives to come here, prepare themselves to come to Ranger School, and only a few hundred leave here every class with the tab. It's not for everyone.
I'm not going to leave until I get it, so just buckle down, stop complaining, and just get the job done.
Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Please welcome country music sensation
Oh,
and
we're gonna
proud
have
supporter
music.
of our
We have a
troops,
stage. We're gonna
Warren
concentrate.
Ziders.
All right. Well, this is definitely going to get copyrighted, so we're going to turn that down. Good little country music going on. Sorry about that, folks. Just don't want to get shut down by YouTube.
Can you turn them down?
Not all the way. Just enough. I think enough.
So I'm assuming after this, he's going to speak.
I think so. I don't know what song he's singing. Is it?
No.
Yeah, it's not like America the Beautiful or like it's something song. So we wait for Trump to speak. Waiting for Trump to speak. No, that's pretty moving that they did the enlistment there and the re-enlistment. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was great. And I think
that was for both, right?
That was for both.
Both groups. Okay. I was confused for a moment. I
Yeah,
was like, are they
it's the
gonna
same
do
oath.
both?
If you're going to re-enlist, it's the same oath. If you're going to enlist in the first place, it's the same oath, right? But I mean, the parade. What do you think? I mean, the parade's over.
Pretty cool. Really cool. A lot longer than I thought it would be.
Way longer than
Way
I thought
longer.
it would be.
Way
A
longer.
lot of tanks. Saw every tank in the playbook there.
I love the history parts.
The history parts were cool.
But after that, I was like, okay, all right. And
The
future's
helicopters.
cool, I guess, and everything else. I understand trying to show the future and the story.
Well, it's also part recruitment. This is all part recruitment video too.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Not only celebration of the past, but they're trying to get the best of the best for the future. I mean, yeah, West Point. I mean, to get into West Point, you can't be a dummy.
No.
I mean, you also need your. I mean, the president can do it, but he only does it very rarely. But you need to go to your senator, and they have to write you a letter of recommendation. Yeah, you need your senator to sign off on you.
Damn.
And they're not going to do that lightly. You need to be one of the best. I mean, the kids that I knew that went to West Point, they were top of the class.
Really?
Like they were top. They were 1 through 5. They were in the top 5 rankings academically. They also had all sorts of things that they did in terms of service outside of high school. Like, Model United Nations was their club, or, they did charity work, things like they did. Had a lot going on. I mean, you can't just be some Yahoo goes, I want to go to what? They're not going to take you. You've got to be, I mean, those are smart kids. And, to get in. And then you got to be willing to go through the physicality because you're a plebe. I forget what they call you. I think they call you a plebe your first year.
Mhm.
So you are going to get hazed.
Oh.
You are going to go through physical hell. You're going to go through
That
basic.
makes sense.
Basic. You're going to go through a form of basic over and over and over again. and learn the ways of the military. But like I said, some of those students that are juniors, seniors, you graduate as a second lieutenant, if not higher rank at times when you graduate from West Point. The same thing with Annapolis. I had a buddy who went to Annapolis, Nick. He was a kid, Greek immigrant parents, and he went to Annapolis and did that. But again, same thing. You've got to get your senator to sign off on you. You got to get that letter of recommendation. You got to be smart. You got to be, you got to show that you're good character. So it's not like
a whatever kind of school.
Yeah. It's not like applying to a regular college either. You know, it's like, okay. But when you go to these schools, you're going to be an officer. Like you're coming out an officer.
Right.
So you're really like, that's a lifetime commitment for the most part. I mean, you can retire at some point in time, I guess, but I mean, why would you? You're going to be an officer. You're going to be an officer. You know,
you're going to make some pretty good pay, actually.
Yeah, it's a great, yeah. You know, it's like, you know, I never knew anyone that went to the Boulder, Thank you. For the Air Force.
I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm nervous, but I would just like to say thank you so much for having me here tonight.
Is he going to sing again?
I'm just so fortunate to be here in front of y'all.
I
And
think
thank you guys so much for what you guys do.
Says he's nervous.
Honestly, happy birthday, y'all. Happy birthday.
Saying happy birthday. Yeah, they're going to sing again. So,
all right.
Yeah, I don't want to get copyrighted.
Too much more copyrighted.
No more copyrighting.
No more copyrighted. You got to try. Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder how long, because it's supposed to rain, thunder, and lightning there, and that's why they started the parade early. So I'm kind of curious if how long he's going to keep his remarks, because if it starts thundering and lightning with all the metal and all the structure there,
a little concerned.
They're going to be really concerned.
Of course, even though it's unlikely, but still.
Yeah,
very
but you can see it getting darker, and you can see the overcast coming in.
Oh yeah. Oh, you see it all.
But you could also tell more and more people joined towards the end. Like at the beginning, there wasn't that many people in the crowd, but I think some more joined.
I think some more joined in because I think also the fogginess, and also they want to see the president speak too.
Yeah, at some point in time, they're going to. Yeah, I mean, you would think that they're going to want to see the president speak. But again, I'm amazed that he hasn't spoken already. That it's gone this long. No offense, but just with everything going on in the country and in the world,
do you think he would have?
He would have. You know, they would have kind of sped this up a little bit, not spent so much time. But I mean, yeah, it's his birthday too.
I don't think it's mostly for his birthday. I think it's for the Army's birthday, which was for my birthday.
No, none of this has anything to do with his birthday. But
I know.
Maybe he's just, I'm going to take a half a day off because it's my birthday. I don't think he's that kind of guy to take a half day off. But with everything going on,
you want to maybe take a birthday day off.
Do me a favor, look up. Have they caught the guy in Minnesota yet? While we're waiting, have they caught the guy in Minnesota yet?
Yes. Minnesota, as Biden used to say.
Yeah, have they caught him?
No, they offer $50,000.
There's now a reward out for him. Okay, $50,000 reward out for the gentleman in Minnesota that took the lives of the Speaker of the House of the Legislature of Minnesota and her husband this morning, and also shot and injured severely another state senator and his wife, who are expected to survive. What that means, I don't know. Glad they're still alive, but I don't know what survival means. I mean, they're probably glad they're alive, but who knows what kind of shape they're in. But they have not caught this guy.
Doesn't look like he's been caught at all. He's still on the run.
He's on the run. He's a security and survival expert, from what we were told.
Oh, here's the.
Yeah.
He even got to the door.
Yeah, got through the door.
Oh, that might have been when there was an exchange.
Yeah, they exchanged gunfire. So what happened? The first, he hit the state senator and his wife first. They survived and were able to contact police, or somebody was able to contact police. And because of the security alert system, they realized, oh, this might be a political attack. So they knew where the Speaker of the House lived, about 5 miles away. So they responded to her house. He had already killed them and was coming out the door. And that's when they exchanged gunfire. And that's when he got away, which I'm not sure how you got away, but he got away. and ended up. How far away is that town from Minneapolis? Because then he ends up in Minneapolis.
Right. It's like a suburb.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's on foot, because he didn't have his vehicle, he either had help getting there.
Let me look up. Park, Minnesota. Here, I'll show you on a map. It's just north of it. That's Minneapolis. That's Brooklyn Park, the red outline.
Okay, but still going on foot?
Well, I'm sure he got a car or took a bus. I'm sure there's metro he probably grabbed on. They didn't know. That's why by the time they figured out who he was, they saw the camera of him.
Yeah.
That footage of him with the cowboy hat in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
He was in northern Minneapolis, which makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
He's gone now. Who knows where he is?
Who knows? I don't know if they're going to find him. I mean, I'm sure
he's not wearing the hat no more.
No.
He's smart.
But he's a security expert. So he's got international ties. He's worked in South Africa. He's done security work in South Africa. I mean, I doubt that he can get on a plane or something like that, but you don't know if he's got another passport or something like that. But,
yeah.
I mean, facial recognition. At this point in time, he probably can't get through an airport. But at this point in time, who knows where he's at or what type of resources.
He had something already. Unless he had already something tied or established.
He's had to have an escape plan for this. Either that or he's got something bigger planned.
Well, he wanted to get more done.
He had he had a bunch of weapons in the car.
He wanted to get way more done. And so it looks like he probably had to rush the plan out.
Yeah. Yeah, he got surprised.
He's going to stop.
Well, they stopped the singing now. Let's see what else is going on.
Yay. But all right.
You see Vance's wife is gone. Must have taken the kids.
Kids were going.
Kids are just like, yeah, we're done. No, I think they're going to, we got. We got applause.
And we got a screen.
This week we honor 250
we got more,
years of valor, glory, and
recruitment.
triumph.
Now it's Trump talking.
Greatest fighting force ever to walk the face of
he was
the
talking
earth,
before on the other ones too.
The United States Army. Each of you on the field today is among the most talented members of your generation. You could have done anything you wanted. You could have gone anywhere. You could have gone to any school. Matt's incredible heroism helped ensure that not a single American soldier died in the Battle of Shock Valley. For 2.5 centuries, our soldiers have marched into the raging fires of battle and obliterated America's enemies. The dignity, daring, and devotion of the American military is unrivaled anywhere in history and any place in the world. Our soldiers do not rest until they win. Our citizens know that you're standing guard, killing terrorists, crushing our enemies, and keeping America safe. But you're also keeping it strong and proud and mighty and free. This week we remember that we only have a country because we first had an army. As President of the United States, let me express my undying gratitude
Just lost
for
volume
every
by
soldier
itself.
here today, for every veteran and their incredible families, and for every patriot who has worn the uniform.
Imagine this is like the prelude to a speech.
Our debt to you
This
is
has got to be like the
infinite
prelude
and
to a
everlasting.
speech, essentially.
With the grace of God, America will always prevail.
Well, he's got to talk now.
There he is.
Oh, there's Vance.
He's going to introduce him. He'll talk as a Marine.
Well, let me say to the thousands of Americans who traveled from distant towns and across state lines to be here today, this is your national capital. Welcome to Washington, D.C. We are thrilled to have you. This evening, as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States Army, the oldest branch of the greatest fighting force ever known to man, I want to say to all the soldiers all across our nation's capital and all across the world, happy birthday, soldiers. We're proud of you. And I want to say you represent an unbroken line of greatness, of excellence. And one of the things the President of the United States has told his entire administration, from the Vice President on down, is that we must remember that the young men and women who put on the uniform and serve this nation are our most precious resource. We must honor them, we must respect them, we must fight for them, and that's exactly what the Trump administration
he's given his speech
every single day. And so to our soldiers,
is he the next president?
Maybe, depends how this administration goes, the midterms and everything
number
else.
One, we never
If
ask
it's,
you to go to war unless
the
you
country's in a
absolutely
better spot
have
than it
to.
was in,
And number
then
two,
yes,
when
I
we
could see
do
it.
ask you to go to war, we give you the weapons and the
If
support
no,
needed to
I
kick
don't
the
know who
hell out of
wins.
the enemy and come back home safely.
Because then they wouldn't go advance. I don't think immediately right after that.
Now, I know I am the last thing standing between the main event, and that is a dangerous place to be with a lot of soldiers in the audience. So let me just say a couple of quick additional thoughts. First of all, June the 14th is, of course, the birthday of the Army. It is, of course, the birthday of the President of the United States, and happy birthday, Mr. President.
It's a happy birthday, Mr. President.
Yeah.
But I would get in trouble if I didn't mention
I thought I could pick
that it's
that up.
also my wedding anniversary.
Oh, it's also his wedding anniversary.
I love you, honey.
Wait,
Happy
for him?
anniversary.
For him.
And thank you.
Damn, it was a good day for everyone in the office.
So without further ado,
All right, here comes the
it
president.
is my pleasure to introduce the 45th and 47th Commander-in-Chief of the United States Military, President Donald J. Trump.
There you go. Now, I'll leave you with the remarks for this guy. I enjoyed watching the parade with you, buddy.
Yeah.
It was fun having some fun jokes. Let's
You're
see
out.
if he talks about the serious stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll let you take over from here because I am not as versed as you are in
Sure.
this matter.
See.
We'll see. With that, good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
I'll be watching.
I'll check out.
I'm on the other side.
Oh, there's RFK Jr.
Hey, there he goes. Vaccines. Needles.
Thank you to Vice President Vance, and thank you to our wonderful First Lady, and above all, thank you to the greatest, fiercest, and bravest fighting force ever to stride the face of this earth, the United States Army. Thank you very much. Because the Army keeps us free, you make us strong, and tonight you have made all Americans very proud. They're watching from all over the world, actually. Made them all very proud. Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too. That's what we're doing tonight. And watching this magnificent display, our souls are filled with gratitude for every generation of warriors who have worn the uniform all the way back to the very beginning. So to every veteran across our land and right here in our nation's capital, including 6 recipients of the Congressional Medal of Honor, we love you, we honor you, and we salute your noble service to our flag and to our country. As we celebrate tonight, we also think of the hundreds of thousands of Army soldiers who have made the supreme sacrifice for our nation and selflessly laid down their lives in every war, from the Revolution to the War on Terror. To the Gold Star families with us today, the courage of your heroes is the bedrock on which our entire nation stands. We thank you. Yes, we thank you. Today we commemorate an event that did not just change American history, but changed the history of the entire world. With the creation of America's Army on June 14th, 1775, liberty got its shield and the freedom got its sword. Those first Army patriots in the American Revolution fought against a fearsome enemy and impossible odds. but they were armed with a righteous cause. They were led by an indomitable commander, a truly great man, General George Washington, and they were united by an eternal creed. Their motto was victory or death. Over the past 2.5 centuries, our warriors have shown unrivaled valor on fields of battle around the globe. With the frostbitten feet and bloody fist, they have marched into the flames and fury of combat, charged up mountains, stormed beaches, waded through torrents of gunfire, and leapt into skies thick with smoke and shrapnel. The U.S. Army has driven bayonets into the heart of sinister empires, crushed the ambitions of evil tyrants. Beneath the threads of American tanks, it's done so well, it's done so much, and sent the devil himself flying into full retreat. Time and again, America's enemies have learned that if you threaten the American people, our soldiers are coming for you. Your defeat will be certain, your demise will be final, and your downfall will be total and complete.
So far, nothing controversial.
Our soldiers never
It's
give
okay.
up, never surrender, and never, ever quit. They fight, 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 and they win, win, win. And that's why no institution in history has entered more names into the roster of American heroes than the U.S. Army, the Congressional Medal of Honor, more than anyone or anything. There was Mad Anthony Wayne, asked by George Washington to lead a daring midnight raid up the cliffs of Stony Point with unloaded muskets and only their bayonets to fight the redcoats. Mad Anthony replied, "Issue the order, sir, and I will storm into hell for you." Then there was the Civil War general, John Corse, shot in the face in combat. He fired off a message to his commander: "I am short a cheekbone and one ear, but I am able to whip the hell out of all of them." He stayed on the front lines, it seemed forever. In World War II, there was the great Creighton Abrams, besieged on all sides by the Nazis at the Battle of the Bulge. He boldly proclaimed, "They've got us surrounded again, the poor bastards." This is the fighting spirit and unyielding force of the U.S. Army. It has never changed, and it will never, ever change, because there is no earthly force more powerful than the brave heart of a U.S. infantryman or an Army Ranger, paratrooper, or Green Beret. They are the best, they are the finest. From Bunker Hill to San Juan Hill, from Gettysburg to Guadalcanal, from Yorktown to Shiloh, and from the trenches of the Argonne to the mountains of Afghanistan, the Army has forged a legacy of unmatched courage, untold sacrifice, and unequaled and undying glory. Our soldiers have poured out their blood by the bucketful on Missionary Ridge and Heartbreak Ridge, on the sands of Sicily, Normandy, and the Philippines, and on the dusty streets of Da Nang, Baghdad, and Fallujah. Thanks to their extraordinary service and devotion, 250 years later, America stands tall, America stands proud, and America stands free. We're the hottest country in the world right now. And our country will soon be greater and stronger than ever before. Down through history, we've been blessed beyond words by this valiant legion of Army warriors and patriots, heroes and legends. And tonight we affirm with unwavering certainty that in the years ahead and in every generation hence, whenever duty calls and whatever danger comes, the American soldier will be there.
Okay.
No matter the risk, no matter the obstacles, our warriors will charge into battle. They will plunge into the crucible of fire, and they will seize the crown of victory, because the United States of America will always have the grace of Almighty God and the iron will of the United States Army. Congratulations to everybody. We love our country. We've never done better. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the Army, and God bless America.
Oh, looks like he's going to keep this a happy speech.
And now I'd like to ask
What?
our great First Lady to join me at the podium. Thank you very much, everybody.
That's kind of anticlimactic. I was expecting a Trump speech, but okay. He kept it nice. Not sure what this is, but
Mr. President, on behalf of the United States Army, the Army Golden Knights, I would like to present to you this flag, which was flown over our nation's capital in free fall during the Army's 250th birthday celebration.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. All right, I didn't see this parade as a threat or a dictatorship type thing. It seemed really cool. It's a celebration of the history. It's a celebration of the Army. A celebration. That looks like it's it. Oh, brought to you by Lockheed Martin and we've been in a lot of parades over the years. We're proud to be a part of the reason. This is going to be a Jeep commercial, right? Yep, I guessed it right. All right. All right, well, that looks like that's it. Oh, you got this guy comes out and it's his song. I'm not going to play that song. All right, well. Okay. So, with that, we've got a lot more stuff to talk about as we end the parade. I think we're going to call this the end of the parade. That was the Trump speech. So, yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to the stuff that we want to get to right now. Okay, so with that, with the military parade over, I thought it was pretty cool. I can't say that was anything that was as advertised by the critics. So, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you didn't, let me know. If you did, let me know. But there you go, 250 years of the Army. Now, we got a lot of immigration news. We got a lot of news in general with court cases that have been filed against Trump and the administration. The one thing I wanted to get to is this. The Salvadorian migrant known as Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the one that was sent to El Salvador, made a big stink, all that, right? Some judge said you got to bring him back. Fine, it was back and forth. Well, they brought him back. Be careful what you wish for, because he's now been charged and arraigned on federal human trafficking charges. All right? So the left has been screaming that this guy hasn't gotten his due process, blah, 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 all that. He's an illegal immigrant, all that. Well, right here is the full 10-page indictment of Abrego Garcia. All right? And what he's being charged with. He's being charged with human trafficking, among other things. Profiting off of that human trafficking, weapons trafficking, things like that. And they've also released body cam video, which has just recently been released when he got arrested. And obviously they've shown that he's lied during that body cam video about where he was and what, because they could track the car. I mean, you use the highways of America, they can track your car. He says he was coming from St. Louis. He was never in St. Louis. He was coming from Houston. They tracked him. So with that, Excuse me, a little bit of water. Been a long stream, but here we go. He's a member of MS-13, a alleged member of MS-13. Criminal organizations in Mexico to transport. He's a co-conspirator, also worked with transnational criminal organizations in Mexico to transport undocumented aliens through Mexico and into the United States. Now remember, this is Saint Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia for the Democrats and for the left. He's been charged with conspiracy, manner and means. He's been charged with human trafficking again, weapons trafficking. I want to get to the I think it's page 7 or 8 where we get into some, transportation in Tennessee. On or about the following dates, as representative of the manner and means of the conspiracy, Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia and his co-conspirators took and caused the following actions. On or about November 30th, 2022, a state trooper with the Tennessee Highway Patrol conducted a traffic stop with a Chevrolet Suburban on Interstate I-40 in Putnam County, Tennessee, outside of Cookeville. Located in the Middle District of Tennessee, other THP troopers subsequently responded to the scene of the traffic stop. On November 30th, 2022, traffic stop was captured on video by THP body-worn cameras, which has also been entered into evidence. Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia was the driver of this Suburban. There were 9 additional passengers in the Suburban, all of whom were Hispanic males and none who had any identification. As you can see where this is going. Why didn't you have identification? Not one person had identification. Not one person had a driver's license. Social Security, nothing. Zero, zip, zilts. Does anybody ever leave the house without their driver's license? Or some form of identification? A credit card with your name on it? Anything. Does anybody ever do that? No. When asked where they were traveling from, Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia knowingly and falsely told the state trooper he and the passengers were coming from St. Louis. He further knowingly and falsely stated to the state trooper that the Suburban passengers had been in St. Louis for 2 weeks doing construction. Garcia also offered that the passengers were on their way back to Maryland, which he also then knew to be false because the passengers had been picked up in Texas. Multiple passengers told the Tennessee Highway Patrol state troopers they were going to the same address in Maryland. All of them together. The Suburban that Garcia was driving had an aftermarket third row of seats placed where a cargo area should be, which was occupied by undocumented passengers. None of the 9 undocumented passengers had any luggage. So you're traveling, you're going to go stay in a new state, you have no luggage with you. You don't have a change of underwear, you don't have a toothbrush, anything. Nothing? Okay. Nor were there any tools or construction equipment in Suburban. So you were doing construction, your job is over, and you're going to Maryland where you're going to live. You would bring your tools with you, right? Because, maybe you do construction there. But no. License plate reader data, which can track a particular vehicle's location at any given point in time, showed that the Chevrolet Suburban Garcia was driving had not been near St. Louis in the past 12 months, and in fact had been in Houston, Texas area. By the way, I used to live in the Houston, Texas area. It's the hub in the United States for human trafficking. Within the week leading up to the traffic stop on November 30th, 2022, Garcia had $1,400 in cash in his pocket. Okay, I guess, sure, that's something. I never really put that one doesn't really bother me. A free country, right? Have whatever money you want. I don't care. Shortly after the traffic stop, Garcia informed other members of the conspiracy that he had been stopped by law enforcement in Tennessee, but that he had been released, all in violation of Title 8, United States Code Sections 1324, A1, AV1, and Count 2. Grand jury. Now, this is a grand jury indictment. So this isn't just the government saying the grand jury has indicted them. This is the grand jury indictment. Follows that Garcia, aided and abetted by known others and unknown to the grand jury, did knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that certain aliens had come to, entered, and remained in the United States in violation of law, did transport and move said aliens within the United States by means of transportation and otherwise in furtherance of such violation of law. Basically, the grand jury has said, yes, you have enough to indict him on human trafficking. So we have an illegal immigrant, been living in the country illegally, who has been practicing or participating in human trafficking, allegedly, according to the grand jury. And this is the person that now you don't hear about him in the news anymore, right? After we got him back, right? Oh, he's here, bring him back. He's false. It's not right. You ripped the father. he never did anything wrong. Whatnot. He's not. It's all lies. Well, the grand jury saw all the evidence and said, oh, the Justice Department and Homeland Security were actually telling you the truth. So he wanted due process. The Democrat says he deserves due process. He's going to get due process. And he's probably going to jail if convicted for a very, very long time, if not the rest of his life. So, but you don't hear this story anymore. This story's not on the news. You used to hear about it every day, protests and whatnot. Where are all the politicians now saying, free, bring them back from El Salvador, free them, Garcia? Where are they? There's nothing, right? Well, they brought him back and they said, fine, here you go. You want due process? Here you go. And now nothing. They tossed this guy, the Democratic Party and those that are fighting against ICE and fighting, you don't hear this name anymore. Why? Because he's been indicted. He has been indicted, folks. So there's the official grand jury indictment. It's 10 pages. If you look it up, you want to read the whole thing, you can. But basically, I just told you the highlights of it. But United States versus Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia. Yep. He's going to be going up. Here we go. Senator Van Hollen, U.S. Senator Van Hollen, Democrat from Maryland, meets with Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia at an undisclosed location in San Salvador, El Salvador, when this guy right here, that's him, was considered the darling, the poster child for this whole Gestapo-like technique that everybody was saying. So you have a U.S. senator meeting with somebody who just got indicted with human trafficking. But you hear nothing from Chris Van Hollen anymore. No. I doubt if you ask Chris Van Hollen, Senator of the United States from Maryland, about Armando Abrego Garcia, he's going to distance himself so fast. So fast. So, there you go. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on this trial as it goes. But wanted to kind of give you an update on that one. Appeals court temporarily allows Trump to keep the National Guard in Los Angeles. So here was an interesting one. So Gavin Newsom sued the Trump administration and said, you have no right to put the National Guard over, federalize them and send them into California. I'm the governor. You got to. Well, Justice Breyer, Judge Breyer, brother to former Supreme Court Justice Breyer, very liberal. So they filed it in the court in San Francisco, and this judge said Trump acted illegally against the Constitution. If you read that judge's ruling, calls Trump acting like a king, that we don't live in a monarchy. I mean, it's very, very political, what he wrote. And so immediately the Trump administration appealed this whole thing to the Ninth Circuit appellate. And what happened? Within hours, after Gavin Newsom coming out going, yes, justice prevailed and we're going to fight against this, and he was celebrating this whole win, within hours, the appeals court goes, no, we're staying that order. This judge and his ruling and calling Trump a king and all that stuff, no, that's not going to count. We're putting a restraining order on that. We're putting a stop to that, and we're going to have a hearing on it. And so the appellate court is actually going to hear the decision or hear the case and decide from there. And regardless of what happens today, it's going to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court's going to have to hear it. And as I told you in the beginning, the president has the absolute authority to federalize troops and send them into whatever state he wants, governor or no governor, based off a precedent. Why? The precedent is this. George Wallace, governor of Alabama, refused to allow desegregation of schools according to federal law. What happened? Kennedy sent in federalized National Guard to force the desegregation of those schools. It's precedent. It happens. It's happened multiple times before. The power is there. The law clearly gives the president that authority. So not really too worried about this. So Gavin Newsom has actually lost his case as of right now. But where the president did lose, and I do agree with the judges in this one, the second judge blocks most of Trump's executive orders on elections. I agree with most of the executive orders on the elections. I believe that you should have to have valid ID to go and vote. I need a valid ID to get on a friggin' airplane. I need an ID to buy a beer. I need an ID to drive a car. I need an ID to do a hell of a lot of things in my life. I should probably need an ID to vote and say, this is who I am. I'm an actual citizen. I don't see a problem with this. The argument you always get from the left is that, you're disenfranchising poor black people. Why? I'm pretty sure African Americans can get a license, a driver's license or some sort of state ID. I don't think they're incapable of doing that. I always found that to be a terribly poor argument and one that was very insultive towards African Americans. But there you go. But so I agree with all the executive orders, but I also agree with these judges. The Constitution is clear. It's very, very clear, and you can like it or not like it, but the Constitution is clear. The Founding Fathers said the states shall decide how to run their elections. The federal government cannot make rules about elections. They cannot. It's actually it's against the Constitution. Every state has the right to run their elections the way they see fit. So the only way to fix that is to either, one, change the Constitution, which is never going to happen. You're never going to see that. I don't think you're ever going to see that in my lifetime. Unless there's some sort of existential crisis that we're not even close to. Or two, you're going to have the state legislatures themselves change the laws and how that's done. But again, they're going to run it the way they want to run it based on their political persuasions. So yes, the Constitution was upheld. Again, a provision that I don't particularly like. I believe that federal elections should be run by the federal government. I believe that's how it should be done. This is where I think the founding fathers got something wrong, and they did. I believe they got it wrong. And as much as Trump wants to try to change that and secure these elections in a separate way, where limiting mail-in ballots, limiting the time in which mail-in ballots can be brought in, all that, right? He can't. It's against the U.S. Constitution. So the judges got it right here by upholding it. I'm a constitutionalist. I believe, there's a lot of things in the Constitution I disagree with. In terms of how they're interpreted now. But you have to honor it. You have to honor it. So, all right. Real quick, if you wanted to, there was a call between President Trump and Vladimir Putin today. They both agreed that Iran this is the way they put it. The two leaders shared the view that Iran should never be in a position to destroy Israel. Now, that doesn't mean that the Russians don't think that Iran shouldn't have a nuclear weapon. By the way, I made this remark, and I get a lot of arguments. Everybody's so concentrated and focused on Iran not having a nuclear weapon, which is a good thing. I'm not saying Iran should have a nuclear weapon. But we also failed to mention that Israel's got nuclear weapons. We gave them to them. So, I don't know. It's just an interesting dichotomy. But I'm not saying Israel's going to pop off a nuke anytime soon, but I'm just saying they have them. Maybe we should have them get rid of them too. I don't know. Might be a good thing. Less nukes, better thing, especially in that region. The two leaders, agreed that they should be, the conflict should never have started, should have been ended long ago with sincere and good faith peace efforts, talking about Ukraine and Russia. The leaders agreed that the movement to peace will begin with an energy and infrastructure ceasefire. No more bombing oil or gas pipelines. No more bombing infrastructure to civilians. All right, they want to. Where it should begin, as well as technical negotiations on implementation of a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea. No more firing things in the Black Sea. That's a port. It needs, where food comes and goes. Full ceasefire and permanent peace follows that. The negotiations will begin immediately in the Middle East. So it looks like we'll be doing that. So hopefully that works and that continues. But there you go, the readout there. Now, let me get to my news. Boom. Boom. Oh, more immigration news. Remember this guy? Again, you don't hear about this guy anymore. This is the Colombia guy. This is the guy who's the head of all the pro-Hamas Colombia demonstrations. A judge has denied Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil's request for release. The judge looked at it and goes, no, you're going to stay in custody because there's enough here and there's way more here than we thought that we're not letting you go. The federal judge overseeing the case of Columbia University pro-Palestinian activist, let's call it what it is, pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist, activist Mahmoud Khalil, ruled Friday that he won't release Khalil from government custody. U.S. District Judge Michael Farbiars sided with the government's interpretation of his preliminary injunction and ruled that his order will not prevent the Trump administration from detaining Khalil on accusations that he misrepresented information on his green card application. Again, you cannot misrepresent yourself on your green card application because then it could be revoked at any point in time. You can't deport him, saying that he's going to get his due process. That's fine. Let's see here. The Trump administration about 40 hours to appeal his decision, but they don't care about that. They're going to bring this guy to court. While the court made a factual finding that it was unlikely that Khalil would be detained on another basis, the court never held that it would be unlawful for respondents to detain Khalil based on another charge of removability. So, yeah, he's being charged with falsifying his green card application and being in the country under false pretenses. You can't do that. I know this because I've actually filled these forms out before. Yeah, so he's going to stay in custody. But again, you don't hear about him anymore. Why? Because so much has come out about what he's been doing, about who he's been doing it with, about who he's connected to. You won't see that in the ABC News article, but again, pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas. Yeah, you don't get to support terrorist organizations that are terrorist organizations sanctioned by the federal government, the United States, in this country. You just don't get to do it. And you don't get to lie in your green card application and stay here and get your free education and all that stuff. No, sorry. So he's going to get his hearing, and he's probably going to be deported eventually. All right. I'm done talking about no kings. It's just, you know what? If you saw that parade, there was nothing kingly about it. That was really cool parade. Happy birthday to the military. All right. Yes, we have Iran and Israel kicking the shit out of each other right now. Again, that's going to go on for a few weeks. Good luck, Iran. Iran has issued a statement that anybody defending Israel will be attacked in the region. Of course, the United States is defensively in the fight. We are shooting down missiles as well that are going into Israel. So if they want to try to attack us, that's their prerogative. Go ahead. It'll be suicide for Iran. It just would be. President Trump is just not going to put up with that bullshit. He's not going to have a proportional response to it either. The big news today is this. Today, and I'm going to get his picture up. I don't think they have his picture up here. In Minnesota, there was some political assassinations, and there's no other way to say it. Around 3 o'clock this morning, let's see if they actually have his picture in the news. How to keep your liver healthy. Okay. Let's see here. If they got his picture up. There's Tim Walz. He looks like he's in control of the situation. No, let me get his picture up for everybody to see. In case you're in Minnesota, you're going to be looking for this guy. All right. Yeah, there he is. Okay, this dude. So, at 3 a.m. this morning, this man, who owns his own security business, done work in South Africa, things like that, so he's got international ties, but he's a U.S. citizen, dressed as a police officer with a car that was basically designed to mimic that of a police officer. So you had lights and everything like that, and sirens and all that. Decals. Knocked on the door of a state senator in Minnesota and shot him and his wife. Thinking that they left pamphlets that said No Kings Day and all that, no kings. Then left there thinking they were dead. They weren't. So the police got informed, and this suspect went to allegedly the speaker of the legislature of Minnesota's House, 5 miles down the road. Same thing, police officer knocked on the door, forced his way in, either way. Not sure, I haven't gotten that whole story, but actually killed her and her husband. So we have a political assassination. Now, because the Minnesota police acted so quickly, they were able to say, hey, there's another senator, there's this other politician down the road. They show up at this house. Now, they're too late to save the speaker, her life or her husband's. But they meet the guy coming out the door dressed as a police officer. They exchange gunfire. He retreats back into the house but disappears. I don't know if he's got help or not, but this is north of Minneapolis. They shut down the whole neighborhood, but apparently this guy got away because this picture here with him in the cowboy hat, that's taken hours later as he's in downtown Minneapolis. So he got away, whether he stole a car, carjacked somebody, had getaway plans, had getaway help. No one knows, no one's saying. But there's now a $50,000 reward out for him because they haven't caught him yet, as far as I know. But this, again, President Trump put out a statement, this type of violence cannot be in the United States. And everybody has empathy for political violence. It would be President Trump. Remember, he's been shot once, and there's been multiple assassination attempts against him thwarted. So now they don't know what, there's a manifesto, there's been pamphlets inside, they show a picture of no king. So this whole No King's Day, is he attached to that somehow? We don't know. We don't know what his political persuasion. He worked for the government. He actually has worked for Governor Walz and the previous governor of Minnesota. So he was a government employee of some sort, or advisor, or on some sort of advisory board. He's got a whole certificate and all that. But he's a security expert and most likely a survival expert. So who knows where he is at this point in time. The federal government, the FBI, the state government of Minnesota, they're all looking for him. It's just tragic. So, and that's what's going on today. But yeah, this type of rhetoric, it's just, there's a lot of rhetoric out there. You dehumanize people on both sides. It's both sides too. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's all Republicans or all Democrats. Both sides, you dehumanize. You on one side, Democrats call people Nazis. They call them threats to democracy. And what happens is it dehumanizes those people in the eyes of the people that go, yeah, they're threats to democracy. Republicans dehumanize the left by calling them, names, by calling them, by insulting them as saying they're out of the touch, they're lunatics, they're destroying a way of life, they're destroying culture. Again, you may disagree with policies left and right and all that stuff, but when you begin to dehumanize people, you get nut jobs that go, yeah, you're right. Yeah, these aren't people anymore. It's okay to do violence. It's okay. And it's not. And so the rhetoric is just causing this dehumanization amongst each other. And you get this, you get people dying. This woman and her husband did deserve to die. And this other state senator and his wife did deserve to be severely shot and struggling and clinging to life because of political views. I live in a third world country, or technically what's called a third world country. Guess what? I look at this stuff that's going on. I look at the riots. I look at the burning. I look at the looting. I look at all the other stuff that's going on. January 6th. You go back to January 6th, right? That wasn't right either. That's a third world country. I look at the U.S. news from a third world country going, oh, you're reverting back. That's what this political discourse has gotten us. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I hear about political assassinations all the time in Mexico. Now I'm hearing about them all the time in the United States. It's a shame. It's a shame. No one, but this guy's out there. That's what he looks like. He's 57. He's 6'1", 220 pounds. Apparently likes to wear a cowboy hat, walk around downtown Minneapolis after killing people. He looks pretty pleased with himself in this picture. This is caught on a business camera. But it's disgusting. And it has to end. And it begins with both parties. Anybody who's out there going, I saw people on the news today, oh, Republicans should look at their stance on guns. Really? We're going to turn this into a Second Amendment debate? And Republicans out there say, well, you're calling us names. Well, everybody's calling it. The rhetoric and all this and the blaming, this is a nut job who went too far and was influenced by rhetoric. He was influenced by rhetoric. And probably influenced on both sides because the political party that the people he killed were Democrats. So, yeah, his name, Vance Luther Bolter. So if you do see him, in that area, there's a phone number, light colored. There he is, all happy, walking around downtown after shooting 4 people and then firing on police. So it's a dangerous individual, very dangerous individual. If you're willing to do what he did, because you got to be pretty twisted to do what he did or allegedly did what he did, and then you got to fire on police officers without caring, and then have all these. I mean, he's been planning for a while, so yeah. What's going on? So, all right. But with that, we've been going for a while. It's been a long stream. We watched the military parade and all that. So I'm going to call it for tonight. I thank you for everybody for joining me south of the border. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the views. Appreciate all the comments and all that stuff. And with that, I'm still your reluctant gringo. Stay safe out there. Have a great weekend. If you're tomorrow, have a great Father's Day. If you're in the United States, happy Father's Day. Salud, a huevo. We're going to get on out of here.
You a racist? Do you hate Mexicans?
So long, gay boys!